guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Never Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.
Recording in progress.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for joining Stocks Never Trading. My name is Ron. My partner is Dave. It is just after 7 a.m. Eastern, and it is Tuesday, May 20th. Welcome, guys. So what the plan is, same thing what we did yesterday. We're going to go from 7 to 10. We're going to do top-down analysis on gold and NASDAQ going into Comex. And then same thing like yesterday, right after 9 a.m., we'll add US 30 to the mix, and we'll look at all three securities going into Wall Street. So yesterday was a great day for most of us in the markets. Hopefully you guys did well in the afternoon if you continued to trade, or maybe just walked away and you hit your daily goal. And now we're going to try and do the same thing again today, okay? Just everyone, if you can please use proper risk management always in trading, not just because we're live, always. That's how you can get ahead in this game. And you can not give back to the markets. And so it's a work in progress. I hope you guys are all working on it and getting better at it, okay? So guys on Zoom, there was a change in schedule. Dave is going to be away for just a few days this week. So I'm just filling in right now for all the 7 to 10 sessions all week. And we're going to still do our 1 minute lives after this. So just over here on the schedule, guys, just so you guys know, updated the schedule right over here. So for this entire week, guys, and YouTube, you're welcome to join us all week. Every day, Monday to Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. So we did yesterday, today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then after Tuesday and Thursday, we'll have our live 1 minute scalping education if you guys want to join. I know it's going to be busy days, so right after this call we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll get back in those Zoom sessions where we'll do 1 minute education on Tuesday and Thursday this week, okay? And then we'll upload the webinar on Wednesday evening on trading styles. What style trader are you, with the homework assignment, okay? So let's get into it, guys. Start off with the news really quickly. So if you remember yesterday, if you joined us on yesterday's call, we went through the entire week's news in Forex Factory, earnings. So just a refresher, what do we got going on today, Tuesday, May 20th? We had some red folders come out of Australia just after midnight. We moved into the London European market session right here. Not much news. We've got this G7 meetings. This is day one, where it's going to be going on all week. Okay, so those are where those big nations are meeting and discussing lots of politics over here. It could affect the markets, but it's something to just keep an eye on over here, okay? And then we move into our North American block. We got Comex that opens up at 8:20 a.m. Eastern. Then 10 minutes later, we have 8:30. And we do have some red folders, lots of news, but it's a lot to do with here in Canada, some Canadian news. Yesterday, we had a Canadian bank holiday. It was Victoria Day. Happy Victoria Day to all Canadians. And a reminder, next Monday is the US holiday, Memorial Day. So US banks will be closed. Wall Street will be closed. So maybe that's a day you should consider taking a day off of trading, or just back testing and reviewing, because volume will be a little lighter than usual. Spreads might be larger. So it's just a day to maybe just not engage in trading, but that's up to you. So we got a lot coming out with CPI in Canada over here. Month over month, our median CPI, our trim CPI are not common. Okay, this is important, but if this was US CPI and 3 red US folders, it would be more significant and more impact to the markets. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this. And then we start to move into Wall Street, just prior at 9 a.m., we have a couple FOMC members speaking. We had members speak all day yesterday. Again, we kind of concentrate when Powell is speaking, but these guys are important as well. At 10 a.m., we have the European Consumer Confidence Report coming out, and later this afternoon, we'll come back in at 11 for that 1-minute scalp session, and that's what's going on today. Okay, so not much high impact news regarding the session we're trading right now, except for these Canadian red folders. Okay, earnings. There was a big name this morning that reported, Home Depot, at 6 a.m. Eastern. They have already reported. They missed their earnings per share. They haven't released here the revenue. And they haven't released the guidance. Sorry, I didn't update it. They did release the revenue over here. It was a beat from 39.33 billion to 39.86 billion over the last quarter. That's pretty good, and good growth. Not a big surprise, but the guidance isn't there, so maybe the guidance wasn't released yet. And that was who we had this morning after hours today. Again, no big names to consider. Okay, right now Yahoo Finance in the news. Let's take a look. Crypto's looking a lot less dicey amid the chaos. U.S. futures slip amid warnings of complacency. So if you want to read a little bit of that article, it was just released 21 minutes ago. Tariffs latest, China's iPhone exports to U.S. plunged to a 14-year low. I'm an Apple shareholder. That does affect me, so I'm kind of concerned about this. But it's not a surprise. Like, I understand how tariffs impact the markets, especially iPhones. So guys, this is not good. Exports plunged to a 14-year low. So right now, with like these iPhones being made in China and India, I know I just bought one maybe a month ago. It was the newest iPhone, and it was like $2,000. And those are all with components and pieces made overseas. If America starts to make iPhones for that $2,000 phone, I'll probably be paying $5,000 to $10,000 for that phone. So hopefully they can start to fix this supply chain issues and maybe negotiate, because I'm not going to be paying 10 grand for a telephone. Are you crazy? So that needs to be fixed right there. But that's can affect Apple if we're trading today. So keep an eye on that as well. Does Trump's tax bill add up? So you know how Trump's been in the news talking about his big, beautiful bill? To me, it's the largest, dumbest bill I have ever read ever. He's going to add another $3 to $5 trillion. He wants to increase the debt ceiling. America's already $37 trillion in debt and hasn't trimmed anything. So you want to add another 3 to 5 trillion and increase the debt ceiling. That's probably not a good idea. And again, taking away from the poor, cutting Medicaid, cutting social assistance, cutting food stamps, all of that from the poor, taking away from there and giving to his billion-dollar friends and giving the 1% wealth and giving them tax cuts. Not necessarily the best idea, but that's Mr. Trump for you. So again, that's in the news right now. I hope that bill doesn't pass. It's the dumbest thing. They tried to pass it at 1 a.m. Eastern, you know, like it's just stupid what they're doing. But again, this is politics, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not a politician, but this is the shit that they do. Home Depot sticks to guidance amid tariffs. So stock rises on Home Depot. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to be reading more about this. Exactly what the forward forecast is with Home Depot. I didn't listen to the guidance this morning, so I'm going to listen to that later. Okay, so what else we got going on here? Lots to do with Home Depot here. Westpac to cut 1,500 jobs. Home Depot beats sales estimates on stable demand, maintains forecast. That's good. Home Depot intends to generally maintain current pricing in face of tariffs. Okay, so that's good too. Remember, Walmart was saying that prices are going to increase and consumers are going to have to take the brunt of that. And Home Depot is looking to keep the prices. So that's good. That's a positive. Home Depot's revenue rises in first quarter as customers spend more tackling smaller projects. I know about that. I'm doing some small do-it-yourself projects at home, and I'm buying all my stuff at Home Depot. So I'm part of this here. Home Depot revenue climbs in first quarter as customers tackle smaller projects. Okay, so that's all. Basically, today it's a lot about Home Depot. Okay, right now in the futures market, in pre-market, S&P is pretty flat, negative 0.2%. Dow is basically flat, positive 0.04. NASDAQ negative 0.3. So everything is pretty light right now in the markets. No big significant moves. Okay, so that's just some latest news. And we talked about our schedule this week. So just a reminder, guys, we'll be going all Monday to Friday, 7 to 10, this slot here. And it's available both on Zoom and YouTube. And then we have our private Zoom sessions Tuesday, Thursday. After these live sessions, we'll take a break, we'll have a coffee, and then we'll come back at 11, okay? And there's a free blog available for everybody. Right over here, click on the blog. We did this one about Moody's, how they got downgraded the U.S. credit rating from AAA to AA1. Last Friday, we talked about mastering trading heading into the weekend. Hopefully you guys read that. And now you have a new plan going into this weekend, going into a long weekend holiday in the U.S. as well. So you really have to consider if you're going to hold trades over the weekend, because you got to consider that extra day when U.S. banks are closed. Okay, so that's the blogs available for everybody. I guarantee you there's whatever you're looking for, there's a blog related. There's a lot of these, okay? So lots, and our trade breakdowns and your weekly market outlooks for members only, okay? So that's all in here. And also, guys, there's a free Telegram pinned at the top of YouTube for you guys. And it's showcases everything we do at SST. Here's your YouTube link. These were a few gold signals that were sent out last night, running 150 pips. And promotions right now at SST, 50% off on most subscriptions here. And the free blog available, and just everything we do here at SST, okay? So let's get into the charts. That's why you guys are here. I assume that we're all here for some charting, for some analysis, and hopefully maybe if the market is good, we can look for some trades, okay? And I'd like to welcome everybody to Stock Sniper Trading. Thank you everyone on Zoom for joining. Good morning, Conrad, Nigel, welcome. Joel, thank you for joining. Samuel, welcome. Bruce, Reese, welcome guys. Lee, thank you for joining. Yes, you're absolutely correct about that, Lee. A lot of companies are not releasing guidance because of tariffs. It's good for Bitcoin and gold if they raise the debt ceiling. Yes, I agree with you on that. But it's not good for USA to continue to increase debt ceiling. Just think about yourself or a friend who has a credit card and is maxed out. Let's say, for example, they got a $10,000 credit card and it's completely maxed out. And they have no means of paying it off, you know, because you're paying like the minimum, and you got other bills and you got other things that are increasing in price. And then your credit card company calls you and says, hey, we know you can't pay right now, but we'd like to increase your credit another 5,000 to 15,000 and continue go spending when you have no discipline to pay it off. And then you're just paying more interest and more interest and more interest, and you're never ever going to get caught up to paying that off. So the banks will eat off of you on interest payments, but you as an individual probably will take you years upon years to pay that off. So that's USA right now. They're in $37 trillion of debt, and Trump wants to increase that debt ceiling to 3 to 5 trillion, which is insane in my mind. I thought you were all about cutting. Isn't that why the people elected you? On your campaign, you were talking about cutting income tax. That was what you promised. You haven't done that. You also promised to cut taxes on tips. I remember you saying that. You haven't done that. You were saying that you were going to cut overtime tax. You haven't done that. So he's full of shit. That's my personal opinion, guys. Don't hold It's my opinion. So if anyone has anything to say about that, it's my own personal opinion. I'm entitled to that. So that's how I think about that. And I'm this. If you guys say, "Oh, Ron, you're in Canada," that's how I said the same shit for Justin Trudeau the first day he got elected. I said this guy's a crook, this guy's a clown, and it turned out that I was absolutely correct about him as well. So this guy Trump is full of shit. He lies through his teeth 100 times a day. So like he got off the phone call with Putin last night and he said it was great, fantastic, big, beautiful cease agreement. There's nothing. Putin is still bombing Ukraine as I'm speaking right now. So you cannot believe this guy. That's up to you. If you want to believe in his BS, thank God I don't. He's not my president, but we got enough going on here in Canada ourselves. So yeah, Thuzma, welcome. Nigel, Val, Ephraim, thank you for joining. And you guys on YouTube, welcome as well, guys. Fawad, thank you for joining. Tony Gold, thank you for joining. Wissam, Ryan, Ahmed, welcome, guys. Okay, so let's get started with gold. We have exactly 1 hour until Comex market opens up, so it gives us enough time to analyze gold, and we'll do NASDAQ, okay? Just one quick little thing regarding US 30. We will do that after 9 a.m. Same idea like yesterday. Do you guys remember we took that buy right there at 9:45? And then what I said, guys, remember 50% stretch it into the future, set an alert there, and had you missed this move, look at how it kind of consolidated. It came back down, did not tap into there, came back up, kind of consolidating in this range here at this hourly area, daily point of interest right here, and came down, back up. And then right here, just after 11 a.m. at 11:10, look how it came right into there. So if you were waiting and you never got a trade out of Wall Street, look at like kind of 2 hours later, right at 11, it came back right into that zone. Had you taken a buy anywhere here, place your stop loss back again, just conservatively below here. Look at what happened. It came right back up, and then the volume just after noon started to close above here, and then it just continued to push where? Right back to that daily point of interest, 42,800. Okay, and that's how you can utilize a pending order or an alert or a market execution when the market patiently comes back to your area. So you can see how long it took. Sometimes it doesn't take the next 5 minutes to come all the way down here, but you can see throughout the day, had you marked that up, and I did, and then I got into another trade later in the afternoon that I got this run up. So that's how you can utilize that, guys. So we get asked that question a lot, but that's patience, discipline, and allowing the market to naturally come to you, okay, without forcing trades. So let's take a look at gold. XAU USD, this is on the 5 minutes, so I can see it kind of bottomed out down here, and we continued to push up. It took out this resistance area, turned it to support now, and now it's continuing to head back up to 32.40 right now. So we're going to get started on the daily and do our analysis like we normally do. So starting on the daily time frame, this should be looking very familiar to you now because every single day we're dissecting the daily candles, and this is what we see in here. Okay, so that is that ongoing double top supply right near the all-time high. So we all know that that's the all-time high at 3,500 right there. So I'm placing an orange line for Donald Trump's orange makeup face right up there, and the market, when it hit all-time high on that day, exactly Tuesday, April 22nd, it came up all the way up there, and since then has been pushing down where we found our pivot right over here in this bullish flag consolidation zone, acting as support. So if we can throw this into the future, you see how it exactly came right back in there and went back up. This was a big week, start of the week. Remember Monday, May 5th, big bullish day, going into the Tuesday. then midweek reversal, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and continue push down. So if I stretch this same zone into the future, look at how gold is consolidating, like right within the zone. Yes, it did break right there on Wednesday of last week. We did continue to push down. So that's our low right there. Well, not a, it is a low, but also a daily point of interest. So a yellow line, I can see how it came down there, 31,120, sorry, 3,120, and it's essentially 50%, a little lower than this big bullish candle, but came back up. So it is still holding all of this support, this uptrend that's coming up, and kind of back in bullish. Then Friday last week, we came down, back up, closed below there. And look at how they started this week with that bullish ignited candle. So at the end of the day now, and notice how it didn't close above there. And then I can see today how it came down and it's moving back up. So we could have a bullish day on gold that could fill these wicks and continue to drive. And if we do drive, where could we go? First target would be about 50% of this bearish candle, right around there, like 32.85, 32.86 zone. And then if it continues to go, I would be looking at the top of these two bodies right there, where you got a body close, that bearish ignited candle that opened on Monday last week, after that weekend. So that's around 33.30. And then if we continue to fill, then the first location would be the bottom of that red zone, 33.78, 33.80. And then if we go in there, maybe 50% right there, 3400, 3402. Like, you can even mark it if you like, right halfway. And then obviously the top of the red box. Then if we can go above here, you can see we're filling that all-time wick behind us, okay? So what is the overall pattern? We've got this clear double top that came up there, back down. There's the neckline, came back up, double top. And we actually closed below, but it didn't really, it got that next day push, but nothing happened down there. So we're just kind of flagging inside here. We're still within that green box. So we definitely could see a push, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but to try and fill these little wicks here. If it fills those wicks, then we're traveling right up to this, 50% of this bearish candle right here. So mark that area, which we just did. It could come up there and get rejected. And then if we come back down, then this might be a stronger area of demand. Maybe it bounces off of there, has enough volume to break this. Then we're coming right back up to that yellow line. And then, you know, so on and so forth. Maybe it might bust through here. Maybe it might retest this. Then we're coming right back up to our red zone. And then when it gets up there, we have to acknowledge that this is supply, because it could come up there and then descend its way back down. However, if the buyers are there and they're pushing right through there, we could clear that zone entirely. And then we're continuing to try to get back up to that all-time high. Okay, so look at now going further in on the daily, now kind of looking what's going on here. So you see where those two bodies are right there at 31.75? That's where we're going to place a point of interest right there, yellow line. And look at how it lines up perfectly. A body, and that line, now you can kind of back test and look backwards. That was the start of that ignited bullish day right there on April 11. That was the Friday following that big Thursday with no wick. So that's a good, and it's that nice psychological area, 31.75. Those $25.25 increments for gold. For example, 3,100. 31.25, 31.50, 31.75. Next one would be 3,200. Then you go 32.25, 32.50, 32.75. Just continue that live auction. Okay, so that's a good area. If it comes down bearish and breaks, you could possibly short into right there. But then when it comes there, you have to understand that there's a lot of buying in this area. That's where that candle opens. Volume stayed above there. The next day was bearish. It broke that, but look at how it came right back up. So now, just following yesterday's candle, start of the week, bullish ignited candle. There was no push down yesterday. It was very bullish, where it was engulfing this previous Friday bar all the way up here. And then near the end of the day, it got there was some resistance that pushed it down. So we still have this bullish body. And then now I can see how, again, points of interest. Where did we close yesterday and how did we open? So just to show you, we did all of this inside this green zone. Where it closed, it opened. And today it was bearish. It came down. It was bearish, bearish, bearish. This was a big black candle similar to this one coming all the way down. It almost engulfed this, and we could have been very bearish today and trending down. However, it found a low of the day where kind of right at the bottom of the green box right there. You see how I was off by just like $1. So if I place a line down there, I know it's going to overlap in the green box. I'm going to place a purple line, and that's representing the low of the day. So it's 32.05 is today's low of the day. Ask yourself, is the low of the day higher than yesterday? It technically is. Is it lower? Is it higher than this yellow line? Yes, technically it is. Is it higher than this wick? Yes. Is it higher than this wick? Yes. So it is a start of an uptrend. A lot of the volume has been kind of consolidating in here, barcoding essentially, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish. Today was bearish, but now the candle flipped. And look, we've got a bullish pin bar. It might turn into a hammer right now as I'm speaking. If we can clear this high point of the day, that's the highest point of the day right now, 32.40. So if we can just come up there to the highest point and then look at what we have, just like if this was a 1 minute or a 5 minute setup, what we would look to do is to fill the prior day's wick, maybe get up there. I would concentrate more on this area. I could place a line at yesterday's high, maybe here, but I like to place it right at those bodies right there because the bodies are more important than just wicks. Bodies represent the opening price and the closing price. So that's where you have your significant volume. And look at the number, guys. Oh, man. I don't even need to place a line there. Just looking at the number, 3,250. Okay, that's exactly what I was just talking about. 3,200, 3,225, 3,250. So that adds up. And then look at the pennies and 24 cents. So we could have just rounded that to 25 cents, and that's as psychological as it can get. So we can see a lot of the transactions are here. We get a wick and a wick touch. If we continue to break that, we'll continue to ride up. We will probably fill this wick, and then I would be targeting that wick right there, 32.65 and 97 cents, like a Walmart price right there. Okay, and then 50% of that big bearish candle right there. So that's where we can grab our Ronny tool so we can find our zone. I plot it at the opening price, and it was an ignited bearish candle, to the closing price right there. And I'm focusing on this big bearish candle right here on Monday, May 12th. It's a significant candle. It's the start of a week. So I have the 0.5. That's where I was guessing with the yellow line, but I don't want to guess now. So there's me now putting it exactly right on 0.5. And if I want to draw my zone, would it be a bullish or a bear zone? I'm going to go with this big bearish candle. So I'm going to assume it's bearish. So I'm going to go from my 0.5 and then one line above and the 0.5 and one line below right there. So you see how I get that meat of that hamburger right there? That's the best part of the hamburger. I don't care about the bun on the top. I don't care about the bun on the bottom. I care about that meat. And there it is. I make it red to let me know that if we're coming back up there bullish, 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 we're driving right into that supply zone on that big candle, and it's the point of control. So we'll see if the buyers can take over or if the sellers will step in right there. Okay, so what I do with that is you can stretch it again into the future. So with all of these zones, stretch them into the future. They are static. They may eventually play out later on in the week, maybe next week, maybe next month. So going off of today, it was a very bearish gold candle start. It's flipped, pretty bullish now, but we'll see if we can break all this resistance, okay? So are we okay with the daily analysis? This is what we got going on, that overall pattern that I was showing you, that double top, but now we're kind of consolidating right at the neckline. It tried to break multiple times, but was unsuccessful, and the buyers are still bringing it right back up. So now let's dissect the daily candle today and go into hourly, okay? So now we're going to get a little bit more specific on hourly moves, okay? So I can see the overall move on the hourly is bearish, coming all the way from here. Look, the high, lower high, sorry, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? But now found a big bottom right there, okay, on the hourly. So if you want to mark that zone with a green box right there, because if the hourly volume ever comes back down into 31.25 down in here, that might be a fantastic buy zone on the hourly. If I was maybe an intraday trader or even a possible swing trader, that might be a good opportunity to buy gold at the second bottom. There's the first one, and maybe to continue to go back up. So it's there. We recognize it. If you want, you can place an alert there. See that yellow line? Double click it, add an alert. For sure, I'll create it. So now I've got an alert just to let me know if I'm not watching the charts and the price comes back down there. I can grab that, okay? And then now look at the move off of there. It took out that high. So there's a new higher high on this move, not the entire move. So you can see it's still really bearish, but the buyers are trying. They came right up there to all of this kind of volume, and it got rejected. It came back down. But did it come back down in the green box? No. So it's making a higher low right there. So if you kind of want to figure out where now the next upper hourly support is, right there, I use a white line to let me know that that's hourly support. So now I see they created a higher low from here. So they are strengthening the depth of market from here. So they're protecting it by adding a higher low in. And what was the response? It came all the way back up with that higher low, but it couldn't break that resistance right there. So then it came back down. And now you see how the hourly candles are trading in the green box. And higher low again, came back up. But you see how many times it's failing to break above here. So what I can do is from that yellow line, and then right in there, if I draw like this, just to illustrate to you guys see how we're struggling to break right there on the hourly candles, okay, red box, bringing it across. You see again how we came in, push back down. We came in again right there with a higher low. So that's essentially when it should have broke and continued to move up. It didn't. The market said there's too much offers up there. And it came back down again right there. So the bottom of the green box is holding currently. That was like prior going into midnight. Then we got 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Look at London's big candle. Okay, London, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And now we're getting ready. We're still kind of flagging up here on the hourly. And we might essentially break the highest point of the day, the purple line. But again, look at what we're trading right into. Again, that red box where a lot of the hourly candles have failed. So if we can break through here, we could maybe easily fill up to these points up here. So stretch that red zone in the future, and that's what we're trying to break right now, okay? I know there's a lot going on. There's a green box, a red box, but this is more the hourly. This is more the daily, okay? So again, now, just looking at the hourly, you can see there was hourly kind of resistance. It looks like a double bottom here. It came down, held. There's the neckline. It came back down. Did it come for a double bottom? No, it was a higher low, and then that body closed above right there. So you could have bought that hourly pullback, and now you're in the money, and you're flagging where you could possibly get that continuation breakout to the upside. So if gold gets rejected on the hourly and we start pushing down, I would be looking to see if a bearish hourly candle closes below that yellow line, maybe like down here, maybe comes back up and retests this, and this is now resistance. We could maybe look to short gold below 32.30 and maybe take it back down to 50% of that bullish candle to 32.15, and then maybe essentially back down to 32.05 down here. And then we judge what happens down here, okay? So, but here's where the big move could be prior to Comex to see if we can break through here, okay? So right now, and then you see how that hourly candle right there at 4 a.m., that daily point of interest, that yellow line, see how it's right 50% at that location? So that's what we're looking to continue to hold as support going forward to break through this. Even if there's pullbacks, we want to see the buyers come in here to continue with that move, okay? So overall it is bearish, but from the bottom over here, we got that lowest point that held, and then if you want to kind of draw a trend line right there to those two wicks, if you like, or to the bodies, whatever you prefer. You see how it's still ascending. And then if you continue with this, you can see how it's still ascending right there. So it hasn't really broke this trend that we're coming. Now we're getting kind of to that resistance area where we're looking to maybe possibly break. But there could be fake outs, bring it back down. But you still got some good support right here. And then if it comes down there, maybe back down to the trend line and continue to move back up. Okay, so that's how gold looks on the hourly. Let's go into the 5 minutes. Okay, so this is our 5 minutes. And you can see how the 5 minutes have their own structure. How they broke that low right there, came down, came back up, kind of closed above there, the neckline, pushed back down. And then finally, they started the big move, pull back, where? Into 50% of that candle. See, this is how you can utilize this style of trading for any security, any time of the day, any time frame. To me, that's a large, unusual candle compared to all of these other ones. This is the candle that confirmed the closure above these bodies, above that wick, and 50% of that bearish candle right over there. And yeah, that was the closing confirmed candle. Had you figured out where 50% of that candle was, right there, and I'm just eyeballing, I didn't even use the Ronny tool, look at how, okay, if you waited patiently, you didn't buy these highs, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 minutes. It took about 50 minutes, less than an hour, if you patiently waited right there, where it came back into 50%, and look at the run up after that. Okay, so waiting patient in the markets pays off. That's why some retail traders struggle, is because they don't have the patience. This is what happens. They buy the highs up here, you know, thinking that it's going to do this move, right? But you're just a little late because you're FOMOing. You're fear of missing out. You're buying the highest point, and then that slight little pullback, you're in drawdown. And if you over leverage, you'll probably panic and close it. And then look at what the market does to you. It comes where it wants to go, test these prior. And if I go back and kind of back test this area, okay, then you can start to see context. It was representing 50% of this bearish candle. And then when it came back all the way back up here, you see how it acted as resistance and then pushed it back down. It came up again right there, resistance, and they pushed it back down. That's where you could be selling those pullbacks. But that candle closed with conviction above there. And then you see how now that red line was resistance and turns to support in the future. And you see how I stretch it into the future? Because if gold ever comes back down, I could be looking to buy off that red line, okay? But I've got my daily yellow line up there, okay? So you see how it's building, it's continuing to go. Now we could be trading right into that red zone up there. If we trade in the red zone, now I look back, I see the last time 5 minute candles have traded in this red zone. Is there an area of interest that I can pick on this? Yeah, I could go right there. There I see the wick come in, push down. Here I've got a body and a body. I got that impulse break, but then it closed below. Look at the retest and the retest of that red line. So if we can continue to break out, maybe there's some resistance right there. 50 pips from here, 32.40 to 32.45, 46 is $5-6 move on gold. That could be 50, 60 pips, filling right back up to that red line up there. And then they could definitely push it back down, or with momentum, it could break through there and come up to clear the red zone, 32.50. Okay, so you see how the 5 minute candles are moving, continue to move bullish. Pullbacks are still holding, continuing. You got like a little 5 minute trend line pushing up, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, looking for that new higher high. If it gets rejected, it could push down. Do we have some 5 minute support above that daily yellow line? Yeah, right around there. You can see how it's still technically holding 32, 33. Okay, so that is gold, guys. Now if we add our EMAs, EMA 9, we are currently above the EMA 9. The 200 EMA is this purple line right here. We are above it. Consider both EMAs are bullish. There was where we had the 9 cross over the 200. So now you can see how you can add indicators. If you were waiting for that pullback, what I was just talking about, and then now you had your EMAs, you see that that volume closed above the 9 and the 200, and that's what started that bullish crossover. And that could give you added confluence to take that buy signal, okay? So this is what gold is doing right now. If you look at your RSI2, another indicator, at this point right there, it was overbought. Okay, you can see, but the price is continuing to make new highs while the strength is going down. So that is suggesting that there's bearish divergence, but gold is continuing to make highs. So what it's telling me is maybe, hey, just a heads up that the strength is weakening while the price is going higher. So maybe the price needs to grab liquidity in this red box, and then the sellers will come in and start pushing it down. But it's not there yet. So that doesn't mean I can just start throwing sell orders in the market just according to that RSI divergence, because it can give a lot of false signals as well. So it's just keep it in mind, but you need to have some bear structure close below. Otherwise, you could be selling. It's just coming down and then going back up, just like here. It came down, went back up, came down, back up, came down, back up, came down, back up. So we really got to wait for bearish bars to close below structure to confirm that maybe the sellers now are in control of the move. Okay, so this is what's going on right now. It's kind of consolidating right in this gray part of the chart here. So we'll see if we can come back in the red zone or if it's going to start to break down a little bit. We'll leave gold right over here on the left like we normally do. And it is 7:43. So I can also do NASDAQ right now. And then we'll have, it's similar like yesterday, we'll have both gold and NASDAQ done prior to 8 a.m. Then we'll watch both of those securities going into Comex and 8:30. And then when we get close to 9 a.m., I'll come back and we'll analyze Dow Jones. And then we'll have all three securities going into Wall Street. Okay, so let's continue, guys, with NASDAQ now. Thank you, everyone on YouTube, 125 viewers. I appreciate you guys. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, if you understood the gold analysis, and if you got some value out of SST on the YouTubes, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll help you take your trading to the next level, guys. Over here now, NASDAQ. Okay, so I'm going to do this now a little bit faster. Okay, so I can show you how I can really slow down the analysis. I can show you how I can really speed it up. You haven't really seen where I just speed it up, like where I'm not even talking, where I'm just doing my zones, boxes, and things like that. That's where I'd like to get to that, but I know that there's new traders that always come on, and if I start doing that, they're lost. So I kind of always think about those guys. But right there, right away, that was a high point, came back down, came back up, and that's actually the double top all-time high on NASDAQ, around 22,250 in there, okay? Another zone that we've been watching for the past few weeks and months over here is this zone of demand, that when it came in, back up, came in, back up, came in, back up. I know it's red, but I'm just showing you how the zone came in, back up. I'm keeping it red for a reason, because as I stretch it across, here it closed below, and then you see how it's red, 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 and then that continuation drop. So then what I see is, again, another bullish pivot right there where it held, okay? So I continue with that, going across, and right there you see how that bearish candle closed below there. So at that point, I would have turned it red, and then you see that drop down. So then now you can see how you can do your pivots. Right there, that was like the absolute bottom of the volume right there. Yes, I see that the absolute bottom is right there. I'll make that orange down there. But you see where the volume is more concentrated right there. So that's right there is a zone of, again, support, demand, whatever you want to call it, green box, stretch it into the future. So then I can get pivots. Then I see this red box. You see Donald Trump's Liberation Day right there where he said buy the stock market. It was a great buy, but look at where it came right into, right back into that supply, and then it pushed back down. So this is where now you can get some daily points of interest. That's where I would place a yellow line right there. And then with this zone, again, continuing to stretch it into the future, I notice a daily candle close above on April 25th. Right there, if I saw that, I would have changed the zone to green. And you could have caught pullback buys. You see where it broke there? So if I want to kind of just bring my box down, because now I can see that. Now it's already happened. So this is where you can start to set up your zones. Again, stretching that into the future. This red one right there. So I see, did it come back in the red zone? No. So there's a point of interest just right below it. So that's why I draw a yellow line and continue going across. Oh, I noticed something. A big ignited bullish candle last Monday came and closed right above there. Had you changed that red zone, red to green, then you see how it's still holding as support. Stretch it into the future. Have we came back in this green zone yet? I don't see that. Okay, we're up here now. It came down yesterday. Did it tap in the green zone? No. So it made a higher low yesterday and continue come up like a bullish pin bar. So we could continue maybe to push back up on NASDAQ all the way, maybe trying to get into this red zone. But see where there's some daily points of interest over here on NASDAQ? Like where there was all of that support right there. Then it had supporting wicks. Then it turned to resistance when the volume closed below. So right here I'm looking at. Right there, that's that area. And look at the number. It's a nice whole number. 21,400, 402, 403. So we got to see that daily volume. Will it stay above here and maybe continue push up? So that's what we're watching. Okay, so look at now what we got going on the daily. Okay, so starting on Friday. Friday was that, not too much volume, but still closed with bullish volume. We opened yesterday was very bearish. Remember, like in the pre-market is very bearish. It was bearish due to that Moody's downgrade, but the market didn't really get affected by that. There was a lot of selling pressure, but it looked like the buyers stepped right in where approximately 50% of this big bullish candle in that zone right there. So they came in, they stepped in, they continued to push it up. They closed it as a bullish pin bar. And here's today's daily candle. It's this bearish doji right here, barely any volume. I'm sure things will start to open up during Wall Street, but let's follow, everything here. So we closed yesterday there. Where did we open? Okay, I know it's going to be a lot of lines in here, but that's how the candle is showing the volume. So we closed there yesterday. We opened right here, 21,447 and 25 cents. It was initially bullish. So it came, when it opened, it came up, it was bullish, it took out yesterday's high, and we've created a new weekly high this week, and we've created a new daily high, essentially. So that's my purple line up there for NASDAQ. How high did we get up to? Let's look at the number. What are we at? 21,495 and 75 cents. That's the highest point. And what happened up there? Sellers stepped in, started pushing it back down to the opening price and continue to push it all the way down. This was a big bearish candle on NASDAQ coming all the way down to the lowest point. Let's mark that with a purple line right there. And you can see how it's kind of lined up with that body, that body, that body. 21,326, I would say 325 is the lowest point. And when it came down there, the buyers stepped in and started pushing it back up to where we are right now with this bearish volume. So definitely let's watch to see if this body will flip back up bullish and maybe we're filling these wicks and maybe have a continuation to the upside, or sellers will come in and start pushing it down. When I see a candle like this, I see indecision. So that's telling me it might be a choppy day on NASDAQ today where there is some buyers, there is some sellers, but it might be just trading in this range. So on those days, you got to be very careful. Okay, so we'll see if that's actually how it's going to be when Wall Street market opens. But right now, you got a range candle that's consolidating in this range. There's no real direction as of yet. It's buyers are buying and sellers are selling. So these are those days that we might get caught not knowing what direction to trade in. Okay, so what we got to do is kind of go now dissect this daily candle, break it down on the hourly, and then maybe we can start to see maybe how the direction is moving closer going into Wall Street. So this is the hourly. Okay, so I see starting over here Sunday night. That was that big drop, coming off of the Moody's report on Friday evening. We had that continuation to push. Okay, so did it find a hourly pivot? Yes, it did, right here. So I like to draw a white line. And what happened down there, kind of bounced off of there, came right back up Monday, 9 a.m. Remember Wall Street, guys? And the rest of the day continued to be bullish, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon, and then we had some consolidation right there. You know, sometimes where we come in mid-afternoon, we trade noon, 1 p.m. You can see how shitty it was there, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., there's power hour, and then the market closed, okay? And then now, futures market, it created the high of the day, 8 p.m. and then 9 p.m. we started pushing down, 10, 11. You come into midnight over here. Then you can see how you're coming in pre-London, then London. NASDAQ was consolidating, and now it's trying to come up at 5 a.m. And 7 a.m. here, okay? So right now, what are the hourly candles doing? They are consolidating right in this zone right here. They're not going to trade in here all day, hopefully. Maybe they're going to attempt to break out of here. And then you can see how much volume has been in this zone. So look at how much accumulation has been in here. There's been kind of breakouts, but most of the volume is inside here. There was breakdowns, but then the volume is kind of attracted like a magnet to come right back into this box. You can see there was breakouts, but there was the big push down, and then it came right back in. It's trying to break out, and then it's attracted to come right back into the zone, and now it might be coming back up. So could be like kind of double top at that daily high if it gets up there, or it could just definitely continue to break out of here. But right now on the hourly, okay, so do we have a big candle that engulfed most of these bars to the left? Yes, this one right here, 6 a.m. Can I identify where 50% of that candle is? Yes, I can. And I'm just guessing right there. That's about half of it. Again, if I don't want to guess, real quick, grab your tool. Opening price, closing price. Was I spot on? No, I wasn't. So then now I can correct myself. Now I can make it exactly 50%. If you want to draw a bullish zone in there, okay? Again, same concepts, same principles, everything is the same. One line above that 0.5, one line below that 0.5. There's the zone, okay? But it's bullish above me, the volume is above me, so I make it green, stretch it into the future, get rid of the Ronny tool, it did its work, and now if the hourly candle comes down bearish, maybe that might be an opportunity to look for a buy at 21,375, depending if this zone will hold. You might have a bearish candle that cuts right through there. You're looking for a buy, but if you got to wait for the candle bar to close, if it essentially closes below there, then that zone is invalidated. Then we got to flip it red, because then the buyers might be bringing it up, and then they're trading right into an area where there's a lot of offers, and then it gets rejected, and then we start pushing back down. Where? To trade maybe back down to those bodies. I mark it up with a white line so I know if it gets down there, and if that line doesn't hold, then we're filling this wick, that wick, that wick, and maybe essentially coming back down to the purple line, which is the low of the day down there, and then we judge what happens down there. Okay, so again, I always say we take it candle by candle and line by line, zone by zone, all over here, okay? So now, what do we have? I see a lot of impulse breakouts above here, above this daily point of interest, this yellow line, 21,400. That was an impulse breakout, got rejected. Right here, 3 a.m. London, that was an impulse breakout, got rejected back down. Right now, that was an impulse breakout on the hourly. This is going to close in 4.5 minutes, and it got rejected back down. Okay, so you see a lot of rejections, and where are these rejections happening? Right below 50% of this big bearish candle. So again, if I'm guessing where half of it is, probably somewhere right around there. Okay, so those could be kind of zones to scalp, measuring the moves. From here to there, it's about 20 pips. From here to there, it's an additional 25, 30 pips. Okay, so you can measure all of these out. So looking at the hourly overall, what do we have? Maybe, you know, to some traders, it looks like a larger head and shoulder. So this entire zone is left shoulder. There's your inverted head that took out, swept the low. Okay, inverted head, found some support, coming back up. There's your inverted head. And then we're kind of trading right back in this shoulder area, left shoulder, right shoulder. So an inverted head and shoulder has a high probability of continuing to go to the upside. But right now we've got a rejection and a rejection and a rejection. So far we don't have any hourly volume closing above there yet. Okay, so maybe we will continue to get that push to the upside today. But the buyers got to be there. They got to be there. So now what we do is we go into the 5 minutes. Again, right prior to 8 a.m. We're about 3.5 minutes away from 8 a.m. So we're almost done this chart. We did the gold. So this is how it looks on the 5 minutes. There you can see the big kind of M pattern that dropped down, came back up. That's where it got rejected back down. It came back up. That's where it got rejected. But now we're not making any new lows on the bottom. They're all higher lows. So it is building. But look at how choppy it is right now. Like, these are horrible candles to trade, even for scalping for anything. These are disgusting. These are just bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, barcoding. So you kind of want to, it's in an accumulation phase to either to continue to go up or it might be coming back down. Okay. So I would definitely be maybe staying away from trading this for now and just watching. Okay. If you want to add some indicators, we add the EMA 9. We're currently below it, and the EMA 200 is right down here. So it might be coming EMA 200 into the green zone. So if NASDAQ pushes down bearish, you know, when we're looking to buy in here, we've got a zone of demand, we've got an hourly point of interest, and maybe the 200 EMA is also coming in there to give us some support. So that might be a possible area to look to entertain a buy if it gets down there. Okay. So we'll leave over here NASDAQ. I'll go 2 charts currently until we, when we do our third Dow Jones in just a little bit. Okay. So we've got a very choppy NASDAQ over here on the right. And we've got gold, which is also choppy, but it is building a little bit. We're going to go into 8 a.m. in another 90 seconds. Okay. So let's see what 9 a.m. or sorry, 8 a.m. brings to us. Okay. Any questions on the analysis? Are you guys okay with that? I'm really tired today, guys. I didn't get any good sleep last night. Okay, so you see how NASDAQ closed below, it retested that and pushing down with 45 seconds to go. So let's take a look at see if it comes down, how far it will come down, will it reverse back up? And we're in a choppy area, guys. So sometimes maybe it's not the greatest to be trading in this stuff. Okay, and let's watch how 8 a.m. opens up right now. And just a reminder, 20 minutes from now is Comex, and 8:30 is a couple red Canadian CPI folders. Okay, so NASDAQ closed bearish. They opened it, notice the candle ignited. Okay, so pushing down. This is one area, like, okay, so now this is where I start doing my analysis. See that big bullish candle on NASDAQ right there at 6:55 going in 7 a.m.? 50% of it is right there. If I go backwards, I can see that there's a wick and 50%. So if it comes down there, that could look like maybe if it builds higher low above this big green box, they could be holding it. Okay, so look at how they kind of moved it down bearish, and it's coming back up bullish right now. Also, gold closed in above there, closed first candle bar to close above there and retesting. So we'll see if it can continue to drive and maybe That's a point of interest right there, that 32.45 on gold. But now it's starting to trade in this big red zone, okay? So we'll see if it can continue to break through here or if it will get rejected. NASDAQ came right up to there, and now they're pushing it back down. So this is the first 8 a.m. candle. That's the first 1 minute. Maybe we wait for this to close to see where and how it will close. Nabuth, have you analyzed gold already? Yes, I have. It's right over here. Sorry if it's it doesn't make sense to you right now. What I could do is I could get rid of this big green zone, okay? If that, because sometimes this big green box, some traders don't know what this is. But what this is, do you guys remember on the daily of gold where the daily bars were consolidating, where they were bearish, bullish, inside here? That's what this big green zone is right here. So every time it comes in here, we could be looking for buys, but it could also sell in here. So like if you need to get rid of that, and then we can look at it like this, maybe if that makes it easier for you guys. I just keep that zone there for myself, you know, just to know that if we're coming in there, we're coming into maybe where the buyers are waiting. So then I kind of think to myself, should I be selling in there or should I be buying in there actually? But I know looking at all these zones, it gets pretty complicated. Okay, so there's that zone of support there on gold, but what about here? What about this point where there was resistance, retesting, turned into support, and turned into a retest right there? So scalp zones, that red line to that red line. I can see from 37 to 32, 33, it's about 40 to 50 pips. So when I'm scalping, if it starts coming down and I look for a short sell just to fill in there, it's 40 pips, right? If it can continue to move down to that daily, it's 70, okay? And then I gotta respect that yellow line more so than that red line because that's a daily point of interest. Okay, so look at now NASDAQ. It came back up, it retested, they're really pushing it down now. So let's see if we do get a reaction at this red line or down in this bigger green zone, the hourly demand. We've got less than 90 seconds to go until this candle closes. Let's see how and where it closes. Gold is kind of getting rejected in this red zone right above us. This is our hourly above us. Sam, any tips on overcoming holding a trade while it's in a chop area before it breaks? Makes me close early in fear of it going against me and losing. Again, you're using that word fear. Why are you scared? If you have fear in the market, then you're over leveraging or you're panic trading. Calculate the prior to taking the trade. For example, if you did take that trade and you're risking $30 on it, I'm just making up numbers. But if you're risking $30 on it and you've got a $500 or $1,000 account, that's a small percentage. So when you take that trade, allow the trade to play out prior to taking the buy or sell. You should already, everybody, this is for everybody, you should calculate already how much you're risking on the trade. And if it's too much, then lower it so you're not panicking. I hate when traders use that word panic. You know, like we should not be panicking when we enter a trade. The only traders that panic or are scared are the traders that are over leveraging. So if you trade within risk, there's nothing to panic about. Then our eyes are on the prize. We should be watching the candles, how they form, how they retest, how they give us clues, how there's fake outs and things like that. But guys, we have to overcome the fear of trading or overcome the fear of being in a trade. And how do we do that? It's by calculating the trade prior to taking it. I always do that prior to taking any trade. Like for example, and guys, I'm not doing this, so don't. If I was looking to buy, and I'm not doing it, I'll verbally tell you guys and show you guys when I'm always buying and selling. If I was looking to buy this NASDAQ candle, for example, and I'm looking to place my stop loss below this red line, okay, I'm already prior to taking it, I'm calculating below that red line, I'm just using this as an example, is 10 pips, right? So now I'm calculating if I was to place a 10 pip stop loss, if I was putting a standard lot size in on that trade, I'm risking $100. If I'm doing a half lot, I'm risking $50. If I'm doing a 0.1, I'm risking $10. I know if I take a Lambo, what if I did a Lambo lot size, okay? And I'm risking $1,000, okay? So yes, if it 10 pips and $1,000, yeah, I'll probably panic as well, you know, if it starts coming draw. But if I'm doing a 0.1 and I'm only risking $10 on that trade, it's not enough for me to panic in a trade, right? Or even a 0.2, $20 risk. So then why should we be panicking? If I do a Lambo size and I'm over leveraging and then I get that 5 pips of drawdown, I'm down $500. That's where a lot of traders will start to panic and then they don't allow the trade to actually play out. Okay. So that's a good question, Sam. Everybody has that. I had that. I had to overcome that myself, Sam. And the only way how I realized how to do it was calculating how much risk I'm going to put in the trade prior to taking it. If I'm okay with it, if it's not over leveraging my account or doing anything silly, there's no fear. Why are we scared? And then, for example, Sam, if it comes out and it hits our stop loss, it's okay. Like we didn't risk too much. It's within risk. Okay, so it's a good question. But guys, we have to overcome fear and greed in the markets. Those are two of the biggest emotions that destroy traders. Okay, the fear and the greed. Once you overcome those, trading will be very, very, very different for you going forward. Okay, and it's not easy to overcome. It's one of the hardest things, but eventually, all of us will eventually get there, including you, Sam. Okay, so now we got a nice big bullish candle. Okay, so it came down. You know, like this is sometimes where you're waiting for it to come exactly into 50%. This is why this helps, guys. Now, okay, so pay attention to this. You know, sometimes it doesn't come exactly to 50%. Remember, a little bit above, a little bit below. How do we do that? So right here, I got lazy. I didn't bring out my Ronny tool on that big bullish candle. Okay, you see how I wasn't even 100% correct with where I placed my 50%? I went with that wick, and I thought that was, but technically 50% is right there. Now, if you draw your zone, okay, a little bit above, a little bit below right there, and you continue to stretch that into the future, now maybe it gives you a little bit more context, clearer picture. So you see where it came down, but again, it didn't come into that zone as well. Okay, so still has this zone is still hasn't been tapped yet. So let's stretch it into the future. Now you can see like the kind of game NASDAQ is playing right now. It's too choppy. So that was a big bullish candle that impulsively broke out, and then they rejected it back down with 30 seconds to go. So, you know, what NASDAQ is doing right now is frustrating buyers and sellers. Okay, imagine you're a buyer and then they do that to you. You're getting frustrated. Imagine you were a seller when this candle opened and then you were watching that big bullish candle coming up. So this is frustrating both sides. But when I look at this is I know that it's in an accumulation phase. Do I want to engage and trade in this? Probably not. I can continue to wait. This is where you're speculating. And this is where you trade smaller. Have you guys ever played chess before? The game of chess. It's a fantastic game. I'm learning it myself. My son beats my ass in it. He's really good at it, but I'm slowly learning so I can beat him one of these days. But the game of chess, the way how I'm learning is there's pawns, right? Is there anyone that's a real like good chess player that maybe can explain it better than me here? The pawns are your first, you know, you send them out there to kind of see what your opponent is doing, maybe get some clues and things like that. Your pawn. You don't start a game of chess and start moving your king out there. You want to protect your king. So protecting your king is kind of like in trading, you're protecting your capital. I don't want to mobilize all my capital on the first trade. So what I do is a feeler trade. Someone asked me yesterday, and I'm working on a webinar for it. Asked me, Ron, when do you do feeler trades? So a feeler, or why do you do feeler trades was the question. A feeler trade is like me putting out my pawn in a game of chess. I'm starting to see how the market is moving, getting some clues as to how the market is moving. I don't want to sacrifice my entire capital for the day, so I do a feeler trade. It's like a pawn. And then when I start to see how my opponent is moving, which is the market maker or who you're trading against right here, once I start to get more information and more conviction, then I can start to move out my knight, my rook, my bigger pieces, and then eventually the king. When you got full conviction, then you can come out with your regular trading size, and that's symbolizing like your king. In the game of chess, I don't, the way how I have it on a webinar will explain it a little bit better, but maybe chess players understand what I'm saying here. Maybe I'm not explaining it properly, but you like right here in gold too. You don't got to go full. Like this is, I understand. I guarantee you there's a shit ton of traders that are getting frustrated trading this stuff right now. And it's not really moving anywhere, okay? Unless you're a scalper kind of like myself, from here to here and you get your 30 pips and you got rules. You're either dipping out or you're taking 80%, you're going to a break. I don't think most traders are trading the way how I do. So they're holding and then it comes back up and then back down. It's not really moving anywhere. But now it's moving. Okay, so we got rejected in the red zone. It's coming back down. Let's see where this will close in the next 2 minutes. Lee, the king just sits there most of the time. Yeah, that's just like my capital. My capital just sits there most of the time when I'm trading until I see an A+ setup, and then I mobilize my capital. Then I start moving my king, right? Otherwise, it's just sitting there. And then I utilize my other pieces to do some trading. And yes, guys, I know the queen always protects the king. So ladies, don't get at me for that. But I'm talking about the game of chess. So I'm learning myself too. So who's more powerful, the queen or the king in chess? Again, I'm not a chess player. Maybe we have chess players out here that can tell me. Teach me, guys, so I can beat my son one of these days. The queen? Pawns set things up, Brian. Perfect. I like that. So pawns set things up on a chess table. Our feeler trades can set future trades where we can go in with a stronger piece on the chess table, and we can go in with a larger size in trading. So I love the analogies, guys. Yeah, if we lose our king, it's game over. So what happens when we over leverage our accounts and we lose our capital? Trading is over. I'm sorry, guys. How many times have you guys got your account liquidated? How many times have you blown up? You're trading too much, and that's it. The game of trading is over. When you lose your capital, the game of trading is over. When you lose your king, when you get checkmate, the game of chess is over. My son got me 10 times last night checkmate, and I was getting pissed off, and the game was over. So same with trading, guys. That's why I always say the number one part of trading is protecting your capital. In chess, the number one job is to protect your king. Yeah, guys. You can, and then maybe if you understand chess, now you're going to start to understand how you can utilize that towards trading. So look at NASDAQ now. Okay, big rejection. Now coming maybe back up. We'll see if volume can close above here. Look at gold right now. Okay, so it did close below there. We could retest here, and it could continue to push all the way down to this red line. However, it could come right back and trade back in here. We're 4.5 minutes away from Comex, so we don't have to go right into a trade on gold because we got Comex coming up. So I'm just going to wait for Comex market to open. Gold is not really moving anywhere currently, but we'll wait for Comex to see what happens here in the next 4 minutes. Yeah, you can kind of relate trading to a lot of things you normally do in life. Like we talked about chess, you can relate trading to chess. I can relate trading to, you said it, Blanc, to poker. We talked about that yesterday. Same analogy for the poker players out here that understand the game of poker, and not the gambling side of poker, the actual real game. There's professional poker players that are not at the final table out of 1,000, 2,000 people all the time just because of luck. They obviously know a little bit what they're doing. So you got to attribute some skill towards that as well. Also, fishing. We talk about fishing. I love fishing. So you know when you're waiting, you put your worm on. You got your bobber. You cast out there. You got to wait for that fish to bite. You know. So same with a trade. You got to wait. You might have to wait it out. Some days we go fishing and we don't even get a bite. We don't catch anything. Same with trading. Some days in the markets, I come in to look for trades. I don't see a setup. I don't trade. I don't force trades. Do you force when you're fishing? Do you force to catch a fish? It's well, how do you do that? Like you got to wait for the fish to come to you. You got to be patient. Yeah, you're right. We talk about how we relate it to sports. Pivot points in basketball. Pivots in trading. I like that, Craig. Trading is like a game of chess. Every move must be calculated because one impulsive decision can cost you your entire board. I love that, guys. I love that analogy. You said it best, and it makes sense in trading and in chess. So that's it. Yeah. Every move must be a calculated move. A lot of traders who do not do calculated moves struggle in trading. We talked about it over here, you know, with Sam, when you're telling me about when you take a trade, sometimes you're in fear of when you're in the trade, right? That's why I was saying calculate the move prior to taking it so that you can eliminate the fear in the trade. And when you know the outcome or how much your loss is, if you're okay with it, then we eliminate fear. Okay, so we got NASDAQ pushing back up, okay, coming right back above that hourly point. Okay, so maybe we found a bottom. We didn't technically get into this green box. Okay, so maybe we'll see a close. And now we got 90 more seconds to go into Comex, which will directly be related to this security gold over here. Someone asked me, does Comex affect NASDAQ or US 30? It's got nothing to do with NASDAQ and US 30. So NASDAQ will just move basically because maybe like at 8:30 in 10 more minutes. But Comex is the commodities exchange open. So it's directly related to commodities, precious metals such as gold, silver, palladium, and things like that. Okay. Okay, so we got now 3 bearish bars pushing down. Again, 30 more seconds to go into Comex. So an area of support is this red line, and then a daily point of interest is this yellow line, and that's our 200 EMA right here, this purple line, okay? Okay, so guys, and look at also NASDAQ. Okay, so I don't see any positive volume closing above there currently. So we might continue to consolidate or it might continue to be bearish. Okay, so here's Comex market open. Did you see how it just flashed bullish ignited when it just opened and came right back up and then they rejected it back down? Okay, so that was the first 10 seconds. Now let's see what it does here. Okay. So might continue to push down. We might see it come back up, then go down. Okay, so where is there a little zone now in the 5 minutes? Right here. There's a little zone. If we come back in there, maybe it's going to continue to be red in here. NASDAQ didn't close above here yet. Okay, so we'll continue to wait it out. Okay, so Comex market, it was a doji candle. No real big excitement currently in the first 1 minute. And always, guys, just double check if we're about to take a trade. Always look at your spreads. Make sure you got the correct lot size in before you take a trade. Don't do any silly mistakes here. So I always double check prior to trading. I was trading US 30. So now I got to switch over to gold, different contract sizing, different everything. Okay. So just keep that in mind. No silly mistakes. Okay. So now I'm set up watching now. Okay. So we got a nice big bullish candle coming right back up, testing this red zone. So is it going to hold? Is it going to get rejected? Is it going to come up and close above here? It's a very nice big bullish candle so far. Okay, that's the first 2 minutes. NASDAQ is still kind of consolidating right in here. Okay, so this is the first 5 minutes of Comex. Half the candle is exhausted. So you remember it opened bearish, came down, and now it's a full nice bullish candle. Where will it close? Comex, C-O-M-E-X. Is short form for Commodities Exchange. It opens every day at 8:20 this time, 8:20 a.m. Eastern every day. Okay, so here we go. And NASDAQ, you see how we're getting rejected here, coming back down. This block might be insignificant with added volume. So it may attempt to come to this bigger zone right down here, okay? But let's just take a look, okay? So big rejection on gold, okay? Came impulsively above there, got rejected. We've got about 90 seconds to go into the close. So is it going to continue maybe to close below here and maybe continue to push down to the downside? Let's wait for this thing to develop and where it will close. Okay, so NASDAQ is testing this zone right now. So now we're getting the test inside here. With added volume, it could break through here and then test the bigger zone below us, okay? But right now it's still holding. Gold, nice move coming back up. Let's see in the next 60 seconds where it will close. Alex, big play on AUD USD for you. Congratulations, man. Nice one. Good trade. And also, just a reminder, if you're trading anything to do with the Canadian dollar, the loonie, there's 3 red folders coming out in 5 minutes. So if you're trading anything to do with the Canadian loonie, just be prepared. Okay, so here's the close on both of these securities, NASDAQ and gold. We're watching gold here more specifically. 5 seconds to go into the close. Okay, so it did in fact close above that red zone. So right away I flip it to green. I see it opened as an ignited bar candle. So it could definitely fill that wick and continue to drive. However, if we're waiting for a pullback, we got to wait for this candle flip. You can see NASDAQ opened green inside this green zone. We'll see if it holds. If not, maybe a better opportunity would be in this bigger zone if it comes down there. Okay, so it came up, got rejected. Keep an eye on that ignited open, okay? So it's still holding. Okay, so there's the push. So it did create that higher high. Now again, I'm not in, so I'm kind of waiting to see if it will give me a nice pullback to maybe enter. Mikhail, how many lot sizes do I trade per time? My normal trading size is a standard lot for all securities, $10 a pip. But my feelers, sometimes when we were talking about a feeler like a pawn, a 0.1, 0.2, you know, $1, $2 a pip just to feel the market out. You can even go lower than that to 10, 20 cents if you like, you know, it's all depends. But my normal trading size is always a standard size. Okay, so just now, guys, just for education purposes, prior to Comex market, you can see how gold came down, came down, came down. Comex market opened up and is coming back up, back up. But we'll see, is it going to come all the way back up? It's going to be lower high, come back down. Okay, so NASDAQ, that's why I was saying, like, this zone might be insignificant since you got a bigger zone right here. Maybe we'll wait to see down in here. Because when you get added volume, these little zones are not as critical as this bigger one right down here now. Okay, so good push off of here now for NASDAQ. Okay, so it broke there. It came down to the top of our bigger green zone, held. So let's see if the candle could possibly flip here. Gold coming right back up. So you see how sometimes things are not correlated with gold and US dollar. Gold, a US dollar is pushing up. I don't know if you guys have it on your charts as well, but DXY is pushing up, and same with gold right now. So they're not always 100% correlated. That's why I don't trade with kind of correlations. If one currency is doing this, the other one should be doing that. It's not always, in fact, true. Okay, and then we got the big Canadian news coming up in 2 minutes right over here. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, right over here, CPI month over month in Canada, median CPI, trim CPI, and common CPI, so and core CPI. So 5 folders in Canada over here coming out. So if you're trading anything to do with the Canadian dollar, just pay attention to that, please, guys. Alex, Rob in our group is asking you, did you catch the AUD rates news? We finally had a cash rate cut today. Did that help with that AUD USD trade you took? Okay, so here we go, guys. 60 seconds, and also a very significant candle in the market. A new 30-minute candle, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So we'll see how everything develops here. Okay, so gold is very strong. Will it take out a new high? Let's watch that as well. Okay. And I'm also looking for maybe a potential buy on NASDAQ inside this zone in here. Okay, so where's gold going to close? Looks very bullish. You know, if I'm just looking for 50% pullback, I'm going to assume that I'll move this according to where the candle closes, but I'm going to assume that that's half so far. Will it take out that high? Okay, so it did close. Approximately maybe 50% is right there, the 9 EMA. If there's a pullback on gold, maybe we could entertain maybe a possible buy there. It's an ignited bar, so it could definitely take that out and continue to drive right now. But if you're waiting for those pullbacks, be patient maybe and wait for that pullback. Okay, we've got NASDAQ coming in the green box right over here. Okay, so NASDAQ is, let's see if it can build off of here. I'm going to go in a buy on NASDAQ. right now. I'm placing my stop exactly how it was just placed right there. So to be below the green box, maybe just a tad bit, since the 200 EMA is there, I just want to be below that. And I'm looking to see if NASDAQ can come out of this green box and trade right back up to that hourly resistance up there. Okay, so I'm gonna go in I am in a NASDAQ buy, looking for maybe some respect in this green zone and to come and build and trade up to here. Okay, so I'm gonna test. I'm in a NASDAQ buy and placing my stop just right below the zone and a little bit below that 200 EMA. Okay, and then what I'm looking for is maybe a continuation to push maybe into 50%. If it can get up there, maybe a pullback. Right now it's not working out, so I might even get stopped out prior to even getting up there, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, and we were just talking about fear in a trade and things like that. So I've calculated how much drawdown it is. Prior to taking the trade, I've already calculated what lot size to use. So I can actually watch the trade play out without panicking. If it does hit my stop loss, it's not the end of the world for me. I can look for another trade and hopefully make that back. But testing out this green zone, the bigger green zone from 50% there, I'm going to see if this can hold up. Gold is breaking out right through this entire resistance. And that was a point of interest right there. Remember that red line we put? 32.45. USD CAD melt on the Canadian news. Okay, so the bigger picture for gold is, where did I get that red line? Right over here, prior, where it was trading. So it is maybe filling that. And again, you know, when I said I'm waiting for maybe a pullback buy on gold, it's not there yet. Okay, so I'll place an alert there just in case it comes back down there and allows me maybe to buy a pullback. Do I want to chase the highest point trading it? Probably not. So I got to wait. Is this difficult for you guys when you see a big bullish candle like that? Do you guys always feel like you want to buy the high and it's difficult to wait for pullbacks, or are you guys getting better for it? This one, I waited for gold to come in, or sorry, NASDAQ to come in this green zone, but right now it's cutting right through here. And I don't, my stop loss is right there, because if this bearish bar closes below there and I'm still in the trade and then it turns red, then it could definitely come all the way down in here. And I'm not willing to risk that much on that trade for just this amount of profit. I'm not willing to put my stop loss all the way below here. So I'm going to see if this green zone can essentially hold up. You know, I'm in drawdown, it came in, but now I see kind of broke that hourly, came down, coming right back up. Now I got to see where it will close in 45 seconds. Wow, gold, holy shit. Big ignited bullish candle, just continuing to break right through here at 8:30. Got above that position. So up there is the daily point of interest, 32.50 if it gets all the way up there. Wow. Brian, your red line is the target. Nice. We'll see, maybe this red line will turn into support now. So if this volume closes above here, maybe the first pullback might catch a wick at that red line and continue driving. So here's the close. I got to watch my stop loss, everyone, on NASDAQ. Sorry. So got to monitor this as well. Okay, so that's not the close I wanted. It came back down bearish and closed right at that hourly below it. So definitely sellers could step in right here and push it down right now, what they're doing. So I really got to watch my stop loss here, guys. You see how gold closed above, and that red line now could act as support. It could definitely pick up a wick there. And it could continue to drive if it holds here to that 32.50, that daily position. Wow. Okay, so it did Look at what it just touched. 32.50 exactly on gold. Okay, I just gotta watch NASDAQ, guys, because I'm almost about to get stopped out here. Okay, I'm out. That's it. It triggered the stop. Okay, so now that's one strike today. I gotta wait now for another setup. So this zone might essentially, if this candle closes below, be a red zone. Maybe if it comes back up, I gotta sell off of this zone, continue coming down. Or if it comes down, picks up liquidity, and comes back up and closes above here, I could look for a NASDAQ buy above 380 when the volume, whatever happens down here, okay? So you see, guys, I placed my stop right below that 200 EMA. Had I not done that, then I'm encountering all of this extra drawdown, which is unnecessary. I gave it more than enough room to breathe in that green zone and placed it below that 200 EMA, and there's no sign of any support there. It's all selling pressure. So that didn't work out. That zone did not hold up. And that's, guys, that's why if I was in a gold trade, I would have definitely done something at that 32.50. That's a yellow line. I don't know if you guys can see it on the red box, but it hit there. Now it's retesting that previous red line. Wow, Brandon, nice trade. Holy shit. But guys, if you can learn from my losses as well, you know, I'm not a perfect trader. I never claimed to be a perfect trader. I take losses just like anyone else. But you guys got to kind of learn where my stop loss was, and the trade didn't work out. So you got to get stopped out once in a while. You can't just take a trade and just leave it and just hope for the best. If that's how you trade, then I hope it eventually works out for you. But that's not traditionally how it will work over time. Okay, look how much extra, if I didn't place that stop there or get stopped out, look at how much I would have been giving back an additional 13 pips, 15, maybe possibly 20 down to there. That you didn't need to give back. So I know it looked like a big stop loss, but it's essentially just 12, 13 pips for NASDAQ. Not a big deal. I'm sure I can recover 12 pips back, okay? But it's hard to recover 30 pips when you lose 30, okay? And that's the low of the day for NASDAQ right down there. Remember it was that when we did that daily candle on NASDAQ, it was kind of just that consolidated candle. So it's in a range. Oh man, I have a huge headache today. Okay, so NASDAQ did in fact close below that green zone. So what I do is I make it red. And then now you might have gold kind of consolidating in this range. Maybe it will continue to break out further, but that's that daily point of interest right there, okay? Yeah, wicks on both sides. Wicks at the top, wicks down there, and it closed with a little bit of bullish volume, so it is an indecision candle, spin top. Could consolidate in this range, could try one more attempt. up here, or it could maybe break below here and start to drop down a little bit. But let's see what happens up there. I don't like NASDAQ, the way how it's trading right now. I'll wait for to do some charting on US 30. I never liked NASDAQ. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like this security. You'll never catch me trading this on my own. I trade this with you guys, but NASDAQ is not my security of choice. I like Dow, US 30. NASDAQ just, I don't know. I don't know what it is with this. It's just not for me. Not for the style how I trade. I find it too slow. Tomorrow what we'll do is we'll do gold with US 30. And we'll save NASDAQ for Wall Street market open. What is the difference? The difference is the volume. That's the difference. Your decisions can be made much easier as a scalper with Dow Jones. That's just, again, my opinion, you know. Rob, NASDAQ is Blair's baby. He doesn't scalp, right? So he's not worried about these small moves. He holds, right? Swing trader. So he's looking for bigger moves in the tech sector. He's not scalping. So when I'm choosing to scalp between NASDAQ and US 30, US 30 is a better scalping security. Okay, so you see how it came up, got rejected. Okay, and gold too. It came down, higher low, still holding above this red line. So maybe it's going to make one more attempt to try and take out that high, but it's still kind of consolidating in here. OM, we're going to 32.70 on gold today. Yeah, that daily candle. Remember the daily candle? You could definitely look at your daily analysis as well. Yeah, it could definitely move very bullish today. Okay, so 90 seconds. Now we see a bearish bar coming back down. Will it close below this red line? Let's take a look. Okay, so we're closing in 1 more minute on both securities. We got NASDAQ building below here, so I'll let it build. That's that hourly point of interest right here, 21,350, still holding that. So maybe I got to let it accumulate. Again, if I'm looking to buy NASDAQ, if I am, I'm looking for the buyers to accumulate and bring it back up here, close, and then I flip this, and maybe I get that 375 fill and maybe to push it back up. But however, it's below the red zone, so technically sellers are in control right now, so maybe I don't want to look for buys. I'll wait it out over there until maybe 9 a.m. or maybe wait for Wall Street. Gold, okay, 18 seconds to go. It came down. Those look like equal bottom lows right there, those wicks coming back up. Where will this volume now close? 7 seconds. Okay, so there's the close, right again at that red line. They opened the bar, ignited, green. So what I look for is how will it react at 50% of that previous bearish bar right there. Okay, so they rejected it there at 50%. So if we lose this body of this candle, remember it was the ignited open. If we lose it, if they flip that candle, could be bearish, fill those wicks and drop down. But still that bullish ignited candle. When it got rejected, it came back up. It's a lower high. Okay, there was a big rejection. Now it could turn into that shooting star candle that could flip and start to push down. Okay, and I'm going to look to sell this, and my stop loss is above that daily point of interest, and I'm looking for this to come kind of back down and trade down into here. Okay, so now I'm essentially trying to do on this trade is make up my loss on NASDAQ, and maybe go back to break even and refocus and regroup. If it comes down, remember gold has more volume than NASDAQ right now. So if it just drops there, that's 25 pips to that green 9 EMA. That's when we can maybe reduce risk if you like. Like just in that move right there, I've kind of covered my NASDAQ, but I haven't closed the trade, so it's all unrealized. But right there, it could be 25 pips. The ultimate move, if it comes all the way down there, could be about 40 to 50 pips down there. So, and I know I'm kind of countering this move, but I liked how it opened. It came, retested, and dropping, okay? So remember, if it taps that 9 EMA, it's approximately 25 pips. Just so you guys know, just for stop loss, if you want to lower your risk. But if we get this bar closing below, it might come back up. We might encounter some drawdown and maybe get the next drop down, okay? So I'm in this trade. I haven't done anything yet, but we'll see what happens. And my stop loss, okay, I got to talk about that as well, is above that previous high, above that daily position, 250, 3,250. Alex, does Fusion Markets have ECN? Yeah, they do. They do, yep. Okay, so half the candle is exhausted now. 2 more minutes to go. It did, remember when it retested, I sold, went down, didn't do anything. Buyers are bringing it back up, but we got to remember what I said yesterday. We got to judge a candle on how it closes. So this is the buyers are buying, sellers are selling, buyers are buying, sellers are selling. Where will the actual volume close? Will it close bearish? Will it close bullish? Will it close right here? Where will it close? Let's see. And NASDAQ is building right back up to that red zone up there. And we're at 90 seconds to go. Erwin, have I entered? I entered, yeah, a while ago. You didn't hear me? Okay, and if you're trading NASDAQ, watch it. Keep an eye on where it closes there too. So it's right back to entry point, but gotta wait, see where the close is in 15 seconds. So it looks like it's a spin top candle. So a little tiny bit of bearish volume, could flip bullish, we'll see. But it's still indecision candle, kind of consolidating right here at the neckline, at that red line that we previously had. There's the close with a tiny bit of bearish volume. Next bar opened, ignited again. So we could definitely now get the next leg up, but could be trading into right here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. So my stop loss is above that prior high, above that daily position. If it comes back up, maybe I'm looking for like a second top to push this leg coming back down. But again, I'm protecting my losses because I don't want gold to break out above there. And then, so that's as much breathing room as I'm giving it to for more offers to come in the market and maybe to push this gold move down, back down to here. And NASDAQ is still failing to close above here, so it's still considered to be bearish. Okay, so remember how the candle opened, the importance of a bullish ignited candle, very strong open. So it did come up, retest right there, lower high. So if the sellers can now, okay, so they flipped it into the shooting star candle. Again, that's what I wanted to play out. Like I wanted to get rejected in there. But now, can this bearish candle fill that prior wick? And can it close with some bearish volume below here? So that's going to be the important thing to watch here, is how bearish volume, where will it close? Because every time we're coming down here, there's a wick. We had that bigger push, which created that low, but it's still, buyers brought it right back up. So if we come back down again and get another wick, you know, we're inside this tough, choppy area. So we really need like a conviction candle to close bearish below here to continue to get that next move pushing down, because there's a lot of buyers in this area. If in the market is messing with indice traders big time, it's okay. Then just wait for kind of Wall Street. Maybe Wall Street will open it up a little bit more. Don't get frustrated right now. I understand. I can see how it's trading myself. I can see how gold is trading right here too. It's frustrating, you know, but again, don't be trading too big until we get good volume coming in the markets and things like that. So essentially here's kind of where maybe the neckline is, where a lot of this volume is kind of having a difficult time to break this 32.45. And just after 9, we'll add US 30 chart in here too. So we'll watch 3 charts going into Wall Street, gold, NASDAQ, and US 30. Okay, so 1 more minute to go into the close. You got NASDAQ still below the red zone, but it is building off the bottom. Notice each wick right here, higher low, higher low. So it is still building to maybe make its way up. But you got your 9 and your 200. You got your hourly point of interest resistance. You got a red zone, so it is still a lot of sellers here. And gold is still very strong. It's stubborn right here. A lot of buyers still. So, you know, I gotta continue to watch my stop loss up there because the buyers are still there holding. 10 more seconds to go into the close. Okay, so we're still closing in here. We did technically close below that red zone, but they opened again strong, ignited candle. Okay, so it's always got to watch those strong opens. And what you got to do now is kind of flip that body bearish, which they just did. But you see, okay, we need that conviction candle to close below all this structure in order to really get that next bearish leg down, and it's not there. We got a higher low, higher low, higher low. So buyers are still here protecting this. That's why you need a big candle to come through here to engage their stop losses. Like if these buyers here, the stops are technically below here. So if you get a big bearish candle that will come liquidate them, that will add some volume into the markets and hit those pending orders down there. I'm still in sell. Okay, I'm still holding it. Suffered some drawdown. But again, I like it's a nice candle, but we got to take out that low right now. And we got to close with volume down here. This is nice. Like this is an impulse move. It's in the money. But again, we want the follow through. We need that closure of good volume so we can capitalize off of this move, you know, to come all the way down into here. Otherwise, again, we're just playing this game with the market. It comes down, it will go back up, you know. So it's tough, guys. Trading is this is the hard part of trading. This is what really, you know, this is really plays mind games with you and things like that. Like my decision would be if it comes down all the way down, like in here, it's easy. I can go to a break even up 40, 50 pips and then start to scale out a little bit and, you know, start to go through the trading plan and things like that. And to recover my loss on NASDAQ, which I've already recovered. Yeah, okay, there we go. There's the push. So, you know, when I said coming after their stop losses, that's what this bar is doing right now. Okay, so now it's time for a break even. Okay, break even up almost 50 pips there. There's 46, 47. Okay, so that's where you can technically close a little bit if you like, recover that NASDAQ loss, leave the rest running. But ultimately it should be at a break even now. Okay, we came exactly right down to that purple line. Okay, so that's where you can technically, if you like, to scale out. If not, you should be at a break even. Then you have no capital at risk. Okay, if it can break this purple line, then that red line, remember why that red line? That was like 50% of that blue candle right there. Then maybe we come down into there, then it turns into a 60 pip trade. But remember, this is an important purple line. That was the previous high of the day. This big bullish move was what closed all the volume above there. So we're coming down in a sell, which could be retesting the purple line where buyers want to buy. So, you know, you gotta understand. But if you want to play it out, we still have 90 more seconds to go. Okay, but it could definitely come all the way right back up. Okay, if we close with this majority of this volume, we got to figure out where 50% is and continue with this. But guys, I'm telling you, like when you go up 50, 40, 50 pips on a counter trade, got to have some sort of rules. Okay, so rule number one was moving stop loss to break even. Okay, see the response. The buyers are there, coming back up. Where will it close? Remember, the job of this candle is not to just drop and close. It's to close below this previous low, right there, that wick. Okay, remember, each candlestick has a job to do. Its job is not to break this entire structure. That would be nice when we're in a sell, but that's technically not going to happen unless there's major news in the market. This job of this candle is to break that low, which it did, and to maybe close below this low right here. So we got 20 seconds to watch where this thing closes. And remember, buyers are pushing it up into the close, okay? But we still have this big now bearish volume. See how NASDAQ is building right below here, okay? So it's building, it's building. Okay, so look at how the candle closed. You got an ignited bar. Did it close below there? Yes, it did. So it closed below that wick. Look at ignited bar filled the wick, dropping. There we go. Okay, now I'm exiting 80% down there. 50 plus pips. I took out 80% and I got 20% running. Okay, so I've recovered that NASDAQ trade. That was the goal of this trade, was to recover. But this one was a recovery plus I'm in profit now. So I'm above on the day because I didn't risk too much on NASDAQ. This one played out perfectly, okay? So that's how, guys, how a real trader, not a real trader, I'm not a real trader. What I mean in like live trading, how you take a loss and you can recover. This wasn't a revenge trade or anything like that. I just looked at a different opportunity on gold. I thought it was when it tapped into that daily point of interest, got maxed out up there. That was the Comex, and then it's just a return of volume back down. Okay, guys. So thank you. Over 200 viewers on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. If you guys can hit a like, if you guys managed your risk on this, if you guys got a little bit of profit, congratulations. All the way down to that green zone is almost 90 pips. So with NASDAQ, remember I took a buy. It was this candle, and I placed my stop loss down there. So you see, I had 12 pip stop loss on NASDAQ, and you got a 90 pip move on gold. So that's how you can recover. You don't got to get frustrated. You don't got to fear and greed when you're trading and things like that. Just calculate the trade prior to taking it. And, you know, unfortunately, NASDAQ did not play out, but gold played out. But it could have been opposite. Like this candle that came up like that, it could have opened bullish, ignited, and came all the way back up. And this would be a different story. It could have been breaking up there. But again, I have to have a protected stop loss above there because I'm not going to hold gold and where it's going up to 55, 60, and 65. So you see how strategically I just placed my stop loss just above that previous high and at a daily point of interest. Okay. And the next thing to do is when it started to drop down, take the stop loss, break even, no risk in the trade. Next part is, okay, remember what we're saying? Capital is protected. We have no risk in the trade. Next thing to do is to take some profit out of the market. However you guys do that, everyone has their own strategy. Some of you guys take out 25%, some of you guys 50%, some 75%, some of you guys close an entire trade. I take out 80% and I leave 20% running with zero risk. So if gold wants to continue to drop, perfect. My 20% runner will continue to collect, but the bulk of the move, I take out 80%. Okay, guys? We're live daily. We're live daily. Not just myself, but my partner Dave in the Zoom. But you get 2 live sessions per day, plus trade signals, plus education, plus Discord with our sniper community, which is a great community, guys. More like a family. I don't even want to use the word community. I know a lot of our traders personally. Dave knows them personally. Traders know me and Dave personally. So it's more like a family, SST. And we're proud of that. Because there's a lot of toxic trading communities out there. And there's a lot of good ones, okay? So I don't always want to just be negative. There's also a lot of great trading communities out there as well. So those ones, they need their respect as well. They actually care for their traders, which is rare. You know, you don't see a lot of that. Your success is SST's success. Your failures are our failures as well. When you take a loss, we take a loss. So it affects us, you know. Okay, guys. So can you guys manage gold trade on your own? I'm going to do some charting on US 30 if you guys don't mind. We gotta stick to our plan today because it is 9:05. So again, just a recap of what I got going on. I have a 20% runner running. If it can continue to break down, whoa, I don't want to move that. But if it can continue to break down, take out that low. Again, we've got a point of interest on the 5 minutes, that red line right there, where there was multiple levels of support there. So if it can get down there, also, where's that candle going to close? You know, if it gets down there, now the runner turns into 125 pips down there. Carlos, welcome, brother. Welcome. Shout outs to Carlos, everyone. Okay, and also for NASDAQ traders, it did technically close above that red box. So you can flip green momentarily, and any pullbacks might be opportunities to look for buys, okay? So it came down there, but it didn't really break any structure down there. Picked everything up, kind of did a double bottom on its own, came up, closed. So we could maybe look for a leg going up on NASDAQ. Right there, you see how the volume closed below on gold? Flip the bucks. Sorry, guys. See, you got to multitask. You got to be fast doing this stuff. See how it closed? Retested, dropping. So let's see if it can take out that low. But right there. So I got 20% running. I'm taking out 10% right now, okay? At 110 pips. I'm taking out 10%, okay? And then I only have 10% running, okay? So it's kind of like a theme last few days, what I've been doing here. So it's a way to maximize the pips and continue to get paid, okay? So now I only have 10% running with a break even. Excellent, guys. Are we good to go? Okay. So if we're good, please manage this. And let's continue with US 30, okay? Because we've got about 23 more minutes until market open. And then also, guys, if it breaks there, you got a daily point of interest right there, the yellow line, and then your 200 EMA is right there, okay? So that's where you could possibly see maybe a reversal. But guys, excellent trade on gold, in my opinion. It did suffer a little bit of drawdown, but risk to reward, how much drawdown? Okay, 20 pips of drawdown for 125 pips. So you're getting basically a 6 to 1 on your money. That, in my opinion, is a fantastic trade. Anytime I can get 6 to 1 on my money, oh, I'll be all over that all day. Okay, guys? And so I want to show you guys how I take a loss and how you can come back and recover that and continue to go positive for the day. Okay? Let's take a look at our favorite security, Dow Jones. I'm just playing. Don't attack me, everyone. Okay. My favorite security, Dow Jones, I should say. Okay, so let's see what Miss Jones is doing. Okay, so we're gonna this was yesterday's analysis. Gonna get rid of everything. We're gonna start fresh on the daily. So while you guys are watching your trades as well, I'm gonna be just doing a top-down analysis on US 30. Okay, so what do we look for? Number one, the same shit every single day because the same zones are there. Like do we always have to do this for the double top high, all-time high? You don't always have to, but you know, it's like the same repetitive stuff every day. We haven't came and traded in here, so it's always going to be the double top all-time high at 45,000. Okay, so then our zones below, the same, this box that we've been doing for multiple days and weeks now has been support there. So you can see there it turned to resistance. I'm not going to keep changing the colors like I did on the previous ones. I'm just going to drive this across and so we can save some time here. So you can still see we retrace right back into it. It's still holding support and now we're driving up. Look at US 30. Oh my goodness. We might be breaking for big push in Wall Street, or they could fake out the market and drop it down. Okay, so do I have to start charting down here? No, I don't need to. Like, I do that for you guys, you know, so that you guys can get better with top-down analysis. But me, like, I don't think US 30 is going to drop all the way down to here today. Okay, so like this is unnecessary to do this. But I do it for you guys so you guys know where your blocks are in the market. Point of interest is right here. So if you want to draw now a point of interest, a pivot point, that's where it pivoted. Similar to NASDAQ, it pivoted down there, came back up. There it closed below and pushed down. When it came right back up on Liberation Trump Day, it came right back up to that point of interest. And now it's resistance, right? The volume was below, it's resistance. Pushed right back down. Two times it tested there, came back down. There it came right back up. Now we've got a body that closed above. So that yellow line now is acting as daily support. You can see how it's holding and continuing to drive. Okay, but now we're kind of closed above that green zone. We retested the green zone and now we're pushing up. So now points of interest now of resistance right here. Wow. Okay, so where are we trading today? Ooh, there's a, okay. Where can I'm going to place it right here and I'll explain why. I will explain why. See that, how it came right down and touched that yellow line and went back up? And when I see over here, kind of acted as resistance, push down, impulse, push down, impulse, yellow line, push down. Volume closed above. So let's see, did it act as support? This was a bearish day, it came down, support. Here is where you got that choppy consolidation, bearish, bullish, continued to drop down. But then when it closed below, looks the retest of the yellow line, drop. As it came up right there, did we almost get up there? Almost, but not, and then it dropped down. So now we're tapping right into it. Now if we go into today's daily, and then what I look for, if we have a bullish day and we flip and we continue come up, where could we go up to? So we could fill right up to here to here. There's all the interest right there. Body, a body, a body, a body. Okay, so let's place a yellow line right here for interest for the rest of the day. 43,250 in there. And then now I can see a supply zone. I can see a zone now, not just points of interest, but I can see a zone. 50% of that big blue candle right there. Look at the retest, came down, back up, came down, back up. Continue with this. That bar closed below, I would have flipped it red, and then I see multiple, boom, came up and down, came in and down. Impulse liquidity sweep and drop. Let's now put that across, okay? So that's not just a point of interest, that's a zone now up there. Points of interest are these, yellow line, yellow line. I would put maybe another point of interest right there, which is representing 50% of that bearish candle right there. So if you need another one, like right there, okay? So are we good on that? Now what we got to focus on is we got everything below us. Not really, okay, because now what we got to do is yesterday's volume. Okay, so you see the gaps in the market. Remember Friday we closed, Moody's had the AAA to a AA downgraded US credit, and then the gap down came down. It was bearish. Tweezer bottom lows on the daily. I can tell you guys, all candlesticks have the same characteristics. Listen to what I'm saying on a daily basis. I've been saying this for over 6 years now. If this was a 5-minute setup, I would be looking for the same thing. This is a daily setup. So for daily traders, I want bigger pips. Just limit your lots, like lower your lot sizing, increase the stop loss, and look at the bigger gains you can be getting, okay? So when it came down there, it came back to where it opened, it pushed. Look at, we closed very bullish yesterday. There was a good bullish day. Now, points of interest. Where did we close? Where did we open? Look at today's daily candle of US 30. It's a doji spin top going into Wall Street. Okay, we closed right there yesterday. We opened right there. It was initially bullish. So we opened and it was bullish. We took out yesterday's high, which created a new weekly high. So you know that point of interest, that yellow line that I was looking in the past? You see how did we tap into it? We're kind of right there. So what I can do is I can manipulate that line, bring it down, and that's representing the high of the day, okay? And it's at a key area. So there's my purple. It came up there. Today's high is 42,880. Came up there, got rejected, came back down to where we opened, and sellers flipped the candle back down bearish, where it came bearish, and stopped right there. We got a low of the day at 42,670. Purple line right here, right? And buyers are coming right back up to initially right where we opened. 15 minutes going into Wall Street. So this is where Wall Street could be choppy. It could either go up, fake out to the top, it could fake out down to the, so we got to be extremely careful going into Wall Street today. If it comes down bearish, and we break and we come down lower, this is where we got to grab our Ronny tool. We had a big bullish day yesterday from the opening to the close. There's the Ronny. And we look at the 0.5, okay? So 0.5, what I always do, point of interest, yellow. Zone, let's get a zone. Where's the zone? A little bit above that 382, a little bit up below that, or that 618. And again, if your numbers are reversed, it's all good. I'm just doing this for the zone. I'm not actually using my Fibonacci for retracements. Just looking for the zone. And once I got it, get rid of the Ronny tool and stretch it across into the future. So look at how technical it is now, okay? So you see today's low. Did it in fact tap into this green zone? No. So what we can do is just to make up for that little, yes, you can manipulate your own zone and bring it up. So you can see how we're still holding majority of yesterday's volume. If it breaks, right, breaks and it's bearish, 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 it wants to come back down to where they gap down open yesterday. Okay, so if you need to know if it flips bearish today, right there, that's a point of interest. Okay, so we've got a doji candle where the buyers were in control at open, then they pushed, sellers were in control, pushing it down, buyers are bringing it right back. So we're virtually right back to the start. We have less than 8 hours to go. We'll figure out where it closes. It could be a consolidated day where it just ranges inside here, similar to NASDAQ, you know, in there if we just get a range day. Maybe the markets need to cool off, catch its breath, listen to Donald Trump with his BS that he spews from his mouth every single day, and see how the markets take it. Okay, but overall, bigger picture, look at what it's trying to break. This structure over here, where it came up and failed. And that was that big sell-off, okay? And then it came up, Liberation Day, back down, higher low double bottom, push back up, closed below or closed above that neckline. We retested it, proper retest, pull back, held, continued to drive, close above there, big bullish day on last Monday, pullback, proper pullback into 50% and continuing to drive. So this looks to me like has a lot of upside potential, okay? Where it could continue to fill up here. So, but you know, we got to see how Wall Street market opens. And look at today's candle. Holy, what a doji candle. So let's break it down now on the hourly. See how the hours are moving. Okay, so the hours are nothing great. Very choppy. Came up, back down, sideways like spin top doji candles for multiple hours. Then we got this big one. This big one was created at 6 a.m. This is pre-New York. And can we look at 50% of that hourly candle? Absolutely we can. Grab your Ronny tool. From the open, that looks like an abnormally larger candle than all the other ones. So from the opening to the close, 50% white line. Let's just put our cut line. The price is too high. We need to cut it. Okay, you know that song, guys? Young Dolph? Your prices are too high. You need to cut it. So that's what we're doing. US 30 is getting too high. We need to cut it. Okay, so when you got to understand the cut tool, think of that song. Play it in the background if you have to. We always got to cut. Okay, so that's our cut. We cut it in half. Can we figure out a zone? Okay, right there. A little bit above, a little bit below. We got now the hamburger meat right in there. Stretched it across into the future. Now I can see more clarity. I can see how it came down at 8 a.m. right in there, came back, but it closed in. Now we're opening bullish and coming. So it's still respecting this hourly point of control. So the buyers are still in control, but we do have some resistance above us. Where is an hourly point of interest? Right there, those hourly bodies right below the high of the day, 42,845. Yeah, iPad, rent too damn high. We need to cut it. Interest rates are getting too high. We need to cut it. Tariffs are getting out of control. We need to cut them. So groceries are getting too high. Food basics, no frills and loblaws, need to cut it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and start singing that song. Sorry guys, I can be silly sometimes. Okay, so you see how, and then we can back test, bring the zone backwards, 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 backwards. And there's the confirmation. You see how we're below 50%, and then when it came in, it was resistance back down. Came in, this should have been a red box at that time, okay? But you see how we flip it with the volume. Very basic stuff we do. Any time frames, daily, hourly, 5 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Guys, do you want to scalp 1 second candles ticks? If you guys want to do that, we can definitely do that. We'll be doing the same thing every 1 second, half a second. We'll do the same stuff. Okay, so we're building now, but we do have resistance. We can see it came up there. They pushed it down. Look at 8 a.m. It was really bullish, and it's a lower high, and they pushed it down. We're starting to build up again, coming back up, going into Wall Street, okay? So this is what we got going on the hourly. So it's going to be tough to say. We're still consolidating. We're still barcoding. Blue, black. This was blue but turned black, and now we're coming back up blue here. Okay, so it's definitely barcoding. It's accumulating for a big move today. The big move is going to be, are we going to continue to test that daily high, maybe pull back here, and we're driving, and it's a fantastic bullish day, like how Donald Trump says, it's a big, beautiful, bullish day, or they're going to reject it back down, and we're retesting this green box looking for buys. But if sellers close it below there, we flip that green box to red, that could be the resistance, and then the market is bearish coming back down to the low of the day, maybe transacting down in here, okay? So right now, looks bullish, but we're going to get much more volatility in the next 9 minutes, okay? So on the 5 minutes now, this is what we got going on. So I could do the same shit with this candle, 6 a.m. Okay, you see that big 5-minute candle? Let me just show you real quick. If I was just looking to cut it, right there, there's my cut, okay? Right? That's me guessing where, but you do not need to guess anymore. Grab the Ronny tool. From the open to the close, see where I was guessing, okay? I smoked a little bit too much weed this morning, so that's why I'm not 100%. Right there. If I put it now 100%, okay, now look, did it hit exactly 0.5? Almost, almost, almost. But if you drew your zone a little bit above, a little bit below, and drew, you had all of these wicks come right in, okay? So that's the power of using the zone, okay? And this is what we got going on in Wall Street. So I can do the same thing. Where's my 5-minute resistance? It's right there. Body, body. Look at when the market came right back up to that red line, rejected. It came back one more time there, tweezer top highs below it. So you can see they're shorting the market. They're keeping it down. Then it came deep into the green box. And then it came right back up, and now we got volume. Can they break this in Wall Street and continue to drive? Are they going to fake out the market and dump it down? Let's watch and see, okay? So let's add some EMAs. 9, we're above the 9. 200, 200's all the way down here, so it's considered bullish. Kenny, is it? Oh, it's OT Genesis, isn't it? Featuring Young Dolph? Like, or am I wrong? Is it OT Genesis? The original? Are you talking the original, Kenny, or the remix? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me play it right now. Let's see. Where is it? Let's see. Hold on. Cut it. Featuring, okay, OT Genesis featuring Young Dolph. My apologies. Every time we cut it, we'll play this. Okay? Can you hear it? That wasn't me that coughed. Sorry. Okay, does anyone know this track? Okay, every time we cut it, we're going to play this now. Okay? Okay, so every time we cut it, right here, the cut line, cut it. Okay? Okay. Now we're getting silly, but we got to get... Okay, apologies. OT Genesis, I'm sorry. It's featuring Young Dolph. My apologies, guys. Okay. So gold, okay. I'm going to get rid of this, okay, just so it doesn't confuse us. We got to now just kind of clean up because we're 5 minutes away. So I'm just now cleaning up charts, doing some tidy up, okay. Just we can leave those points of interest, okay. Right over here, this zone. I might flip it green, but I'll be focusing more on indices at market open, okay. Bradley, you just joined. What in the world is he talking about? Yeah, it's just don't worry about it if you just joined, guys. It's just Bradley, we're being silly here. We're just being silly. Okay, so we're gonna get bigger volume coming in, so maybe these red lines we can kind of maybe just clean these up a little bit. Okay, so maybe I see, okay, so it came up NASDAQ. They pushed it. They came up, but they pushed it right back down, maybe a double bottom building. So it's below, again, below that green box. So see how far behind I am? I got to go red here. Maybe I'll get rid of this now because we're going to get bigger volume coming in the market. So that's why now I focus more on my white lines, like the hourly points of interest. US 30. I love US 30. I love Miss Jones, but it's getting pretty messy here. Okay. So just to reiterate, if you're in gold, okay, you should have managed it. I still have that 10% running, but it's with a break even. So I'm okay with that. But now we got to focus on NASDAQ, US 30. We're about, what are we? Just less than 4 minutes away from market open. Wall Street. Again, let's look at news. Do we have any speakers? Do we got anything going on? Just in case we forgot to check here. 9 a.m. We've already had speakers right now. They're speaking. We don't have anything 9:30, 9:45. And then we got the European consumer confidence at 10. That's not really going to affect the U.S. stock market. But if you're trading anything to do with the pound, the euro, that will affect you guys. So we don't have anything going on. Okay. Carlos, you're looking to short Dow at 42. Okay, I see what you're seeing up there. Okay. Futures chart. No, I understand, Carlos. I got you. Okay, so guys, we got less than 2 minutes. Okay, so you see now NASDAQ, they're selling it off prior to market open. Okay, so you see kind of like how they fake out the market prior to opening. Look how they made it bullish. They closed it below there. So you see how it came back up right into the red zone. They rejected it. That's where there's no wick. Pop the candle, dropping. So it's now break. Look at. They're taking out all liquidity below here. Here's now US 30 following up. Okay, so guys, let's watch what the market is engineering prior to Wall Street market open. Okay, holy shit, wow. And that's the lowest point of the day, that purple line. Okay, so you see what they're doing here. Okay, so are they coming to take out liquidity to turn the market back up? Are they coming down? Maybe grab some buyers and then they're going to continue to drop it. So everything is kind of look at. That's why if you're not in a short position or you're like, or you're not in a position right now, you got to watch. I'm not in anything right now, but if I was, like for example, if I was a buyer, I'd be kind of concerned about this right now. If I was selling the market, I would be ecstatic right now. So, but if we're on the sidelines, myself included, I'm watching to see, are they going to take out the low of the day? Like, what are they doing? Where's it going to close? All of this. Yeah, Carlos called that dump. Nice call. Okay, so remember, this is not just by chance. There's no news in the market. Like if we look right now, what time is it? Okay, so 30 seconds. I don't really want to go and look at the news right now. But if you go to our Discord, guys, on the news feed, you can see in there if there's any news. So there wasn't anything real high impact news. So this is all kind of just Wall Street manipulating a move here. Sorry, not Wall Street, but the market makers manipulating a move prior to Wall Street market open, maybe collecting some liquidity, taking out all the long buyers, taking out all their stops, just clearing the board, clearing the liquidity. This is what we call a stop hunt, liquidity hunt. Come and take all those pending orders out. Okay, here we go. Here's market open now. Get ready for volatility. Okay, so they opened it bullish right back up. Okay, rejected right at that red line. Big box green to red. Holy shit. Okay, that's the first 10 seconds. Okay, so we could continue seeing selling pressure. Look at the retest right there, dropping it down. First 20 seconds. Okay, so if you don't want to trade right away, I completely understand. I'm not in. I'm just observing. So it got rejected there, came back down, filling back up bullish. Excuse me. Okay, look at US 30 coming all the way right back up. Holy, okay. So did they just gobble up all of that liquidity and coming all the way right back up? Okay, so if you're not in a trade, don't stress out. Let's just wait for bodies to close. Because sometimes now if we get excited and we buy this, then they start dropping it right back down. Okay, so I'm going to wait to see where this first 5-minute candle, how it's going to close. So I'm going to sit back and watch. I know I'm itching to take a trade, but it's not the time. Unless you've got a clear higher time frame bias of where this is going to go. Remember we were talking about US 30 could be long today. Maybe that was perfect opportunity where they came down, they hit all the stops down there. Now it's coming right back up with bigger buying volume. They cleared the board. So we could be working a nice bullish daily move today. Let's see where the candle will close. NASDAQ, look at NASDAQ, came up bullish, 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 and then they rejected it back down. Okay, gold, you see how gold is doing absolutely nothing right now? Okay, so gold is not affected by Wall Street. Gold is affected by Comex, 820. Wall Street, now that's why we switch over and we look at either S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow. What are you guys thinking? Do you guys think we're going to see a bullish move back up, or we're going to continue pushing down? Okay, NASDAQ has already decided to go right back down. Alex, no, it doesn't bother me. No, I pay more attention to the higher time frame lines. The red lines are just my scalping lines, you know. But I know it might be a lot of lines, a lot of colors and things like that for most traders. But Alex, what I can say for you is it works for me. I stick with what works for me, you know, and I understand what works for you probably works for you and doesn't work for me. So I completely understand that. But I trade within these lines. So I'm kind of, I don't know what you guys call it, zone to zone trader, line to line trader, trading the tape. That's how I trade. Keeps me disciplined that way. Reese, United Health gapped up again. Yeah. Yeah, it's trading near 320. Okay, so now we're gonna we got 60 more seconds to go. Look at that. Okay, that was a big bullish candle coming all the way where to that yellow line, that daily point of interest, 42,800. And look at now they're absorbing all of those buyers, coming back down. Remember NASDAQ. NASDAQ was initially bearish, came up all the way bullish, came back down bearish, and now it's filling back up bullish. Okay, so we still don't have a direction yet. No, I don't take criticism, Alex. Don't worry. I'm a big boy. I can take you can talk shit about me and it doesn't bother me. I'm older now. The younger Ron, yeah, was yeah, that probably if we were in high school probably would have caused a fight or something like that, you know. But as you get older, you get those things don't bother you anymore. You get more mature as you get older. Other things matter. Okay, look at gold now building. Will it? Okay, so it closed again above that. If you're trading gold, what I would do, your cut line, OT Genesis right there, cut line, bearish ignited candle pushing down on NASDAQ. You know, we're barcoding still. Bearish, bullish, bearish. So again, I don't want to engage in this. I want to wait for more clear directional move. Don't want to engage in barcoding. So I'm going to continue to allow the market to accumulate and got to wait it out. I might have to wait till 9:45. I might have to wait till 10 a.m. to look for a trade. I might have to wait till 11, okay? You don't have to trade right away when market opens. Oil dumped, Bradley? Yeah, the US dollar's going down. Bitcoin is going down right now. So I know Bitcoin has nothing to do with our conversation, but just watching that right now. Okay, it looks like I might engage maybe in a possible sell to continue come down, okay, because it's retesting kind of 50%. We're still below here. Maybe we will get that continuation push down. Maybe will I see volume closing below here. And this is where, okay, so remember Wall Street has bigger volume. So these are not, again, 15, 20 pip stop losses. You can just judge just this volume in this right there. Guys, that's 40 pips right there, just in this zone. So like the entire range, like you can see it's about almost 90 to 100 pips. So if you were trading really tight, you can try and get away with it, but you got to nail a trade right away. Otherwise, this is where you got to increase your stop loss a little bit. So you got to decrease your sizing. Factor that in. We talked about this in the entire call. Prior to taking a trade, you should know how much you're risking either in dollar amounts, however you calculate things. So you know when you get in the trade, you're not panicking. So this is the time where you got to like think about your risk. Carlos, let's see if volume can close below these bodies here. Yeah, I know. You want to take out that low wick right there. NASDAQ is taking it out. Let's see if US 30 can get down there. Okay. But guys, that's a daily low, okay, right? That's a purple line. Okay, so US 30 looks like it's pushing down. Let's see if it will take out the low of the day or have higher low down there. Okay, look at that, guys. See the return? It came down and it tapped the low of the day, and look at the return, okay? I know it sucks for sellers, but you have to respect the low of the days. Like, look, there was a wick, 3 wicks, and there's another big wick right there, okay? So it's unfortunate, but shit like this happens, guys. It's not the first time we've seen this. Okay, so I'm still waiting, guys. You know, it's still very lots of indecision. It could definitely come back down, but we got to also respect this large wick returning this volume back up. Okay, so this is on NASDAQ. US 30 is still got bearish volume. Gold had a nice move up. They rejected it back down. Okay, but let's see how these will close. Okay. Sometimes Wall Street opens like this. I want you guys to understand, like, you don't need to always just be trading right at Wall Street market open. I know it's exciting and a lot of traders do well at Wall Street, but you got to have a little experience to know what you're doing in here, okay? If you're lacking that experience, if you're like a beginner trader, I wouldn't advise trading this unless you know what you're doing, because it's not easy to trade this stuff. And a couple mistakes with this type of volatility and volume, and if you don't, and you over leverage, you could say goodbye to your account, like if it's a prop firm, or so you got to be very careful. Look at now how we're still barcoding, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish. Okay, so we could definitely come back up. Yep, Ephraim, the death cross on the Dow. Yep, so the 9, you see the 9 EMA, how it's coming towards the 200, could definitely cross bearish down. Yep, so we could maybe now continue to sell the market down. Okay, if it kind of breaks below here, I might be looking for a sell to fill that wick and come back down and test the low of the day. Okay, I'm going to go in on a sell right there. I'm looking to fill the wick and drop to the low of the day, similar to NASDAQ, and break it, okay? So remember, this is bigger volume now, okay? So just dropping to fill that wick, that's about 25 pips. If it can come to the low of the day, the purple line down there, it could be about 40 pips. My stop loss, okay, I'm gonna place my stop just above 50% of the red zone, above that, the white line, which is my hourly point of interest, okay? So looking to see if we can trade down in there and then reduce the stop loss and then see what happens on there. So I'm going to sell on US 30, okay? And this is going to be my final trade for today. Carlos, you saw my Lambo lot in the tape? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I'm trading in the dark pools. No one can see my orders. I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing. And I'm giving it room to breathe, but like it's pretty tight stop loss in my opinion for Wall Street market open. So I just want to see if it can get that push down and then start reducing my stop. But ultimately, if it gets stopped out, I don't want it to start breaking above here and turn completely bullish, okay? But we need, remember, volume to close below here. So we're getting that drop, we're getting those drops, but we need the volume to follow through and close below. Very similar to what we did with gold. Very similar. Because it's, remember with gold, it was coming down, going back up, coming down, going back up. And then finally we got a good bar that closed below. That's what we're looking for NASDAQ. Also, if you're shorting, if you're shorting NASDAQ and Dow, we're looking for that bar to close below with conviction with 90 seconds remaining. So we'll see if we can get that. So this is the zone I'm really watching. I'm not looking at my stop loss. Stop loss is already placed. I'm watching this zone right here. Okay, so there we go, taking out that low, okay? So, okay, there's the push down, but we need the closure. Remember that, the closure in the next 60 seconds. Okay, I just want to kind of tap into the low of the day here. And remember what type of response we got on NASDAQ when we hit the low of the day. So you got to understand same rules down here, okay? So it is pushing down. Okay, that's about 30 pips right now, 30, okay? I'm going to break even now, reducing risk. Break even, 30 pips, and looking for a target down in here. So I have no risk in the trade, okay? I'm okay with that. I can walk away even if I get tapped out at break even, I'm okay with that. But I want to see if this will really start to break. So guys, you know, protecting capital. Capital is protected, okay, number one. In profit, okay? 18 seconds to go. Remember what we said. The job of the candle is to close below the previous low. Okay, below there. If we can close below 42,693. Okay, that's the job of this candle. It also produced a new lower low. Okay, but the close, this is what we need right here. Maybe we'll get a bearish ignited open. Okay, so close below. We got a bullish ignited open, but right away they rejected it. So can it take out this low quickly, like right now, I'm saying. Right now. Because if it stalls, then you're getting more buyers buying it up. So remember this zone of supply. And if we get our cut line, what's 50% of this opening close? 50% is like right there, you know, right by our red box. right in there. So if we can get a lower high rejection, shit, see, we allowed the buyers to step in. Okay, so if we got to get it rejected here, if not, I'm going to get tapped out at break even. Okay, so I'll let you guys know when they tap me out. I'm still in it. Still in it. It retested the zone, but I didn't want that. I wanted a quick rejection and to break, but now it's gonna tap me out at break even. Still in it, but one more push, that's it. So hopefully the big sellers can come in. Okay, so we've retested, we got a push down. If we can absorb these buyers, we could get a big drop coming, but you know, oh man. Henry, have a good day. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to the channel and leave us a like. Okay, beautiful retest of the zone. I'm still in it. Okay, now can we flip shooting star, take out that low and take out the lowest point of the day, the purple line. And that could be approximately 50 pips if we can get down there. Come on, where's this Wall Street volume? We have the, Ephraim was alluding to the death cross. There it is. So the 9 is coming, about to kiss that 200 EMA, maybe cross below, and then that could give that continuation push to the downside. So believe it or not, guys, they never tapped me out at break even. I'm still live in this. I thought for sure I was going to get tapped out there. Still in. And now we didn't break for that new lower low, so we're allowing time for more buyers to continue to get in the market, but we're continuing to absorb them. There's NASDAQ breaking. So come on, Miss Jones, just follow NASDAQ. Let's go. Just take out that wick, please. Is it too much to ask for? Flo, thank you for this. My pleasure. Thank you for joining, brother. Okay, so there we go. To the lowest point of the day, breaking. Okay, I'm taking out 80%. I'm grabbing 80% down there and leaving 20% running. Thank you to Carlos for adding that liquidity sell side volume. Beautiful. Oh my God, I don't know how how they kept me in that. Wow, 70 pips down. Okay, there we go. The next position is that daily yellow line, guys. Holy shit, we caught this. Can see sometimes how going to a break even very fast can affect you. So that's why, remember, a little bit, maybe 5 pips above and not necessarily just a break even might save you. It's very, very psychological. But guys, that's a great trade, okay? We waited for all the BS to happen and we continue to go with that. So I took out 80%, I got 20% running with that break even. Whatever happens, happens, but the bulk of the trade got taken out at the lowest point of the day. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you to Carlos for allowing us to take that trade and the heads up. Okay, guys, not bad. Okay, so don't feel bad taking money out of the markets. Okay, I know a lot of traders say they have difficulty understanding, but you're taking money out of the market and putting it in your pocket. Why is this a concept that's very difficult for us to learn? Okay, don't feel bad. I don't feel bad right now. I took out money out of the market. I don't care what happens after the fact. That's how my brain operates. I don't care. I got a runner to take care of that for me, to take care of those emotions and things like that. But we trade to make money, right? You come in the markets to make money. We don't come in here to we come to have fun, but your job as a trader is to make money on a daily basis, doing this with patience, with discipline, respecting your risk management. And when you make some money and you're happy with it, just continue to learn how this feels consistently to do this day in and day out. It's going to become so repetitive. You're going to say, Ron, today, what am I buying? Am I buying a Lamborghini? Am I buying a Ferrari? Am I buying a Porsche? Am I getting a hair transplant? Am I buying LASIK eye surgery? Or am I buying a new hip? Whatever you guys decide to buy, that's on you. I don't care. I'm not coming shopping with you guys. But what I would recommend is forget all of those things and pay off debt. Pay off your mortgage, pay off your car notes, pay off your credit cards, and then learn what it feels to be financially free. Exactly, Rob, you're paying off your cards. That's a good thing. Okay. Samuel, you're saving for now in a house and land. Perfect. A land and a house is a asset. It's an investment. It appreciates over time. It's like having a long term, like holding Apple for 10 years, right? Or holding like Nvidia for the next 10, 15 years. Land is the same thing. Um, I own rental properties. I own my own property. I own some, like all of these things. And over the years, they just continue to appreciate. So those are good investments. Hair transplant, Carlos, fantastic investment. That's a great investment. Okay. No, you rock the bald look, Carlos. Um, advice on gold? Look at it. Okay, we're approaching back up here. It kind of held this area. We're coming right back up. So we'll see any pullbacks. Get your cut line, 50% right there. Gold looks like continuation to the upside. 32.50, take it out. We're driving. Okay, markets are bearish today. US dollar is falling. So gold might see liquidity move from stock market, move into gold. Gold continue going up bullish today. Okay, guys. So I'm not going to take any more trades. So the first one, recap, NASDAQ, 13 pip stop loss. And then got into gold. We took that sell, that leg coming down, and we just got in a quick little sell on US 30. So hopefully everyone had a good session today. Oh, you want to buy an RS7? Those are nice. My neighbor down the street just got one. Oh man, if you listen to those things, the growl and the exhaust on those things, they sound mean. They sound aggressive. They're really nice. An RS7, hell yeah. I like that too. Okay, but you see now, guys, if you do not take any profit out of the market, see how the market rotates right back up, and that's going to be my 20% break even. They'll probably come up there and grab it. And see, now I understand the importance of scaling out 80% down when we break, because there's my break even now. So my 20% got hit at break even, but now, you know, the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Now I always say I'm happy that I stuck to my plan and took out 80%, the bulk of the trade, when we broke that low of the day. I got filled to the downside, so it was perfect. They filled me properly. I got added value as it was dropping, but now you see how the market rotates right back up. So they broke the low of the day, and there was lots of buyers waiting right around 50% of this demand zone right in there. So they're bringing it right back up. You know, see how the markets rotate. So that's why I take my money and I run. I try to hold trades as long as possible, but I added up all the money at the end of the day, how much I was giving back to the markets, and it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It was too much. It was enough to buy like a rental property. It was enough to pay off bills. And I said, this is ridiculous. Why am I not taking out any money? So I learned to take out 80%. It's just very automatic. Okay, guys. So with that being said, we're moving into 10 a.m. Again, news-wise, there's just this 10 a.m. consumer confidence report. Again, this has nothing to do with North America. This is European consumer confidence. Still important, but it wouldn't be as impactful if this was a U.S. consumer confidence report. Okay, and then you got some speakers speaking. Oh, I didn't even see this. President Trump speaks today when? At 3 p.m. power hour prior to market close. Okay, so please be aware of that. Okay, click on it. He's due to speak along with Defense Secretary Hegseth at the White House in Washington. Okay, so anytime Donald Trump is talking, pay attention because the markets move when he's speaking. And look at the timing. Power hour, they might delay it a little bit, 3:30 more towards the close of the market, and then he starts opening his mouth. So be very careful. I didn't even see that today. Did they just maybe? I think they just added this in there, but Good job, Rob. Awesome. Thank you, Rob, for joining us. Appreciate you. Guys, shout outs to Rob Mack as well, like in the Forex channel on Discord, doing a great job. OM, awesome, good job. Thank you, Rob. Shout outs to Carlos. Guys, shout outs to SST Scotty. If you guys want to go in the Discord on the non-trading channel, and just give some warm wishes to Scotty, who's going through a few things in life, and you know, he'll be back here soon, but he's getting healthy. So look at his story, guys. Scotty will be with us soon, back in here as usual. But he's going through a few things in life. He had cancer, brain cancer. So he's the strongest person I've ever met in my life, and one of the best scalpers I've ever seen in my life. He scalps the 1 minutes on US 30, and it's unbelievable. I'm in awe what he can do. He puts me to shame. He's very talented at what he does, and overcoming what he's overcome, I don't think any of us could do what he's done. So shout outs to Scotty out there. Okay, guys, so scheduling. Guys, I'm just going to take a quick little break. I have a massive headache. I'm just going to go take an aspirin over here. I'll be back 11 with you guys. If you guys want to join, okay, I don't know if I'll be trading. It's more this 1 minute scalping education. Okay, we're going to come in from 11 till about 12:30, 90 minutes. Okay, and tomorrow, guys, again, Dave is off this week for for today, tomorrow, and Thursday. He'll be back Friday, but I'll be taking over all of these sessions. Let Dave have a little bit of a break. So guys, if you want to join us on YouTube all week, you're more than welcome. 7 to 10 every single day this week. These hours, this block, we've been doing good the last couple days. Let's not jinx anything. Hopefully we have a good day again tomorrow. And for you guys on Zoom, Tuesday, today, a little later today, and Thursday, we've got our 1 minute scalping education. And we'll be uploading a new webinar on Wednesday, later Wednesday, on what style trader are you? So it's very important to learn what style trader you are. And we'll have a homework assignment to go accompany that. And everyone, there's a free blog available to everybody. If you visit our website, go to the free blog, and you can have all of this. If you want to join the team, we would definitely love to have you on the team, and you can trade in all the, whoa, there goes gold. Okay, so there goes gold breaking out. You know, there was the retest, guys. Pull back, cut line. Okay, gold is getting too high. We need to cut it. Okay, so it came back down right there, cut line, continue to drive and go. Okay, so beautiful. There goes gold. With the decline of the US dollar pushing down, NASDAQ pushing down, maybe US 30 will continue to go down, but gold, very, very big move. Okay, guys? So continue to watch that in 10 a.m. Everyone on YouTube, we appreciate you guys. If you can leave us a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to take your trading to the next level. All it takes is subscribing to the channel and joining us on a daily basis. That costs you nothing on YouTube. Okay, so but you get a lot more with the team over here. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a little bit of break, and then I'll come back. I'll have the Zoom link available for you guys. We'll come back for some 1 minute analysis. Remember, last one we focused 1 minute on gold, and today we'll pick either NASDAQ or US 30, and we'll focus on one security at a time, and we'll see how it moves everything. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. I hope you guys had a great call. I hope you guys, number one, learned something new today. And if you made some pips and learning, that's fantastic. So you can earn while you learn here at SST. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thank you to everybody. I'll see you guys YouTube tomorrow morning, same time, 7 a.m. And Zoom, we'll see you guys in just an hour if you want to join us for 1 minute scalping education. Thank you, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Number Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.